son of a bitch.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Because you are my friend.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 32 of Super Enabler Bros show. I'm Jason, the Corpse Flood Gaming, along with my excellent co-host, Chris, the old ass retro gamer.
Woo!
How you doing, Chris?
Doing good.
And we have an extra special guest today. Why don't you introduce yourself?
What? Oh. Hey there. My name is Moandain. I run a YouTube channel called Moandain Designs. I've been, trying my best to help people like gamers and stuff with consoles, controllers, games to check out. I also play as the character Marcus on one of the best D&D streams on Twitch right now, and it's Tides of Flame.
Oh shit, cross
what's
promotion.
I never heard of it.
Let's let everyone in on our inside joke.
That's my D&D campaign.
Right on.
Streamed
Right
on twitch.tv/the old dice retro gamer.
All right, check it out. They're the sponsor of this episode. Sorry, we did our table read. All right, well, yeah, it's been a while again. We've been trying to be consistent. It's not working out, but I'm glad we actually got to. I stayed awake today this time for the. we were supposed to do this about 2 weeks ago, and it didn't work out because I went to take a little nappy nap around 3 p.m. and we were going to record around 9, and I just slept till 11:30. So that was a whole last night's sleep, not a nap. So I apologize for that to both you guys sincerely. I probably should have been able to predict that because I didn't sleep at all the night before, and then I had that giant garage sale. As you'll notice behind me, there's no wall of cartridges.
I want to talk about
So I had to slap a bunch of X-Men comics there so you weren't looking at plywood. But yeah, more on that later. So welcome, Moandain, and let's get right into it. What you guys been watching? What you guys been playing? Well, Moandain go first because he's our illustrious guest.
Illustrious guest. Wow.
Yeah. I used a dictionary today.
I got the almanac.
Got a thesaurus.
Wow. So what do we want to do first? Like movies and stuff, or?
Yeah, well, we can start with what we've been playing, I guess.
Oh, okay. What we've been playing. Good Lord. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, because my granddaughter loves to play it, and I refuse to play it without her. So anytime she says, "Hey, I want to play this," I drop whatever I'm doing, and we start playing again. Divinity Original Sin 2, because if you say it wrong, you get a completely different game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. It's so confusing. I play that with one of my good friends and shout us online quite a bit. Recently beat Record of Lotus Wars, Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, Evil West on the PS5, Carrion on the Switch, Control, Sifu, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I have lots of free time.
That's great.
Something I don't have.
Witcher 3. I mean, I can go on. I'm going to stop now. Someone else, please take the reins.
All right, Chris, what have you been playing lately?
I just finished playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I probably spent more time doing all of the collectible stuff than I actually spent playing the story mode.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
Yeah, I just for some reason I just didn't want the game to end, and I just kept on I got to the point where I have to go to the final boss planet, and I just didn't do that. I just started going to all the different planets and just trying to find all the collectibles, and I 100%ed all of them except one because I can't figure out where I'm missing.
It's probably
stuff.
just a ledge you didn't crawl up and get a
basically
little chest from.
I think Kobo when I finally gave up on it, I was at like 99.8%
Well, there's
complete.
two ledges you didn't look at then.
Yeah. but everything else is 100%. So
that's what I kind of hate about those games. Not gonna lie, I hated that in the first one where I was like, I'm gonna get the platinum or the whatever. I think I played it on PlayStation. So yeah, platinum. And I was like, you know what? No, I don't just feel like retreading 100 times trying to figure what little alcove I didn't walk into.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, I got all the collectibles for the game. It's just, and like I unlocked all of the powers, but I'm surprised I didn't get an achievement for that. Usually that's what that like springs one right there when you unlock all of your powers.
Yeah, I got a shit ton of those, and I don't think anything from it.
Yeah,
You got, like,
that got me. But like something stupid like use the binoculars for the first time has got you one.
like, wow, that's a gold trophy.
But yeah, the game's cool. I like it. I like the story. I like the characters still. I hope we get another one. This one kind of went to some darker places and some things happened. But I really liked it. I don't like it as much as the first one though.
I definitely didn't like it as much as the first one. And almost all aspects, to be honest. I liked the new stances. I think were the only real addition that I really liked.
Only stance I ever used was dual saber.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That was it.
I
tried each of them in a couple of situations, and I was like, this sucks. Go back to dual.
I'm like, I'm loving the
like the blaster idea was cool, but
basically it's like, oh, now it feels like Force Unleashed. I like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the blaster having like a blaster and saber combo, I thought was a cool idea, but I just I never used it.
I used it a little bit because there's some times where that stance just wouldn't let me use the force powers, like when you're in that like sludgy part where you had to like lift the rocks out of the ground, but then you had to lift one, jump to it, and then lift the next one. It would be like looking at it, then being like, go do it. Do the thing.
Yeah, well, it did that. It did that no matter what stance I had.
Yeah. So I'd switch to the, I think, blaster stance I had, just so it would offset that. And I also found a few times where I was trying to do the saber throw, and for like 2 hours it just wouldn't let me do it. And then, like I'd be like in the groove of things, and I'd be like, "Oh, there's a guy out of my reach, throw a saber," and he'd do that thing where he like goes like this and lets it, like where he the block thing where he does like the combo.
Kind of goes into the trance.
I'm like, that's really cool, and he does it when I'm trying to do that. But when I'm trying to throw a saber, the fucking thing. So
yeah, the game is definitely glitchier than.
And the dodge step was not nearly as effective as the roll. So I was gonna actually bump it up and play on like a harder one and like go through it again. But I was like, you know what? No, kind of made it a pain in the ass on normal when you're fighting anything big and you're like. No to dodge, but it hits you anyway because the dodge is ineffective.
Yeah,
you kind of need that in if it's trying to be like a Star Wars Dark Souls. Like,
so what you're telling me is the controls are the biggest boss in the game.
Yeah, some jankiness.
It still needed about another month of like janky testing. You know, it was. I had it crash on me at least 3 times, and I lost big time progress. I remember there was at least 2 times where I lost control of Cal completely. Like I'd be in the middle of a combo, and all of a sudden he started jumping around, and
he went to the dark side.
Yeah, I was just like, "What is happening here?" Like I let go of the control, and he'd still be doing shit. I was like, "That's not me."
Yeah, stuff like that. There was like a little update one night between me trying to do the force tear on Jeddah. The one where it's like the
frogs,
the obstacle course. No,
okay, I gotcha. Yeah,
where you doing the wall running and all that, and and you have to do that. What's that thing that the chick?
The leap.
Yeah. Where I feel like I'm going into a Stargate randomly out of nowhere. Yeah, and I did it. I must have tried it 30 times, and I'd be coming out a wall like this, like at a perfect angle to wall run.
And then you go the other way?
He'd hit the wall and he'd start running the other way. And you're like, no.
That happened to me a bunch of times too.
And it was every time. I'd get a little bit of progress. I get to a new area of that. They would do it again. I'm like, God damn.
My biggest issue was they introduced that bounty system. And you're supposed to talk to, was her name Cage? That was in the cantina. And I would talk to her, and she would never give you the missions to go and do it. She would just give you her story stuff. And then I beat the game, and like I read in there that there was a bunch of other people that were saying the same thing happens. Like, I've gone and I've killed all those people, but I never get anything for it when I go and talk to her. Like, she doesn't even acknowledge it. And it was like a glitch. Like, you have to do it in some things in a specific order to get it to work.
Oh, weird.
So
yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't have any problems with the bug.
Yeah, you must have done it in the right way, but I didn't. So they said they were going to fix it in some patch, and then I beat the game, the patch dropped, and then I did all that stuff after the fact.
Dumb. Yeah, nothing like that to take you out of a game that you're enjoying. I was like thinking when I was trying to do that, because I'm pretty stubborn. That's why I tried it like 30, 40 times, do that thing. And I was like, I've had no problem doing any of the traversal anywhere else in the game. And there's a lot of it. It's like it's like Uncharted amount of traversal shit.
Yeah, it was like I needed another month or two of like bug fixing before they release it. But the amount of stuff I've seen in it is like the way people talked about Cyberpunk when that first came out, and I never had any problems with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, same here. I had 2 glitches the entire time I played it, and I didn't do everything because I was waiting for my Xbox Collector's Edition that was trapped across the border famously for many, many months, like a year and a half. So I was like, I'm gonna want to play it again and get my money's worth for that Collector's Edition I bought. But being on 2 podcasts, I was like, I need to play this because I'm going to be mad hearing my co-hosts talk about how cool it is when I'm like, yeah, can't wait to play that in a year. So I was like, especially with how much I was anticipating it when I was at the fucking E3 where like it was a big draw for that and all that, and then just to like not be able to play, I was like, fuck it, I'll buy the PlayStation version. I got the Xbox Collector's Edition. Good, I'll double dip. So that's the only way I got to play it. But I was like, I'm not going to do absolutely everything because then I'll be like, I've done it when I get the Xbox one. So I got a couple.
Is the PS4 one able to be updated to a PS5 version now?
That's pretty much the only way you should be able to play the game. Yeah, I mean that's what I've done. Is my PS4 version I've updated to the PS5, and yeah, it's God. I love Cyberpunk. It is probably still one of my favorite games that I've played, and honestly, it helped me get over my thanatophobia, which is like basically fear of people dying and stuff. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it kind of means a little bit more just specifically for me. Yeah, it was. It definitely was. And
see, people don't talk about that shit very often. That's awesome.
And the thing is like the person. So I used to play all kinds of like I'm a full spectrum nerd, like wargaming, pen and paper role playing, Magic the Gathering. You know, you name it, I've probably played it or at least seen it played. And my friend who ran the Cyberpunk game, my pen and paper one, he unfortunately passed away before Cyberpunk came out, so we never got to see the game. But he knew it was coming, he just never got to see it. And one of my goals now is to try to help CDPR in any way that I can, so that I can create an NPC that's one of his characters in the next Cyberpunk game.
That's badass.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm really hoping to do, but it's kind of hard to get a hold of them.
Yeah, they're probably like,
kind of weeding through all the death threats and shit.
Someone else got a glitch.
No, I don't have a glitch. I just want to help.
Yeah.
And I want to, and I don't want to be paid. I just want to take an internship to like play test, because I've play tested various other games and stuff in the past.
Yeah.
And just
I got stories.
I just want to make my NPC character as my payment, and basically just, you know, do this like eulogy cut type thing for my friend.
Tribute.
Yeah, exactly. A tribute character.
Living tribute kind of thing. Yeah, that'd be super
Yeah, that'd be
awesome
cool.
to be able to do that. Yeah, I really like that game a lot. It feels like I felt like Church and I on the game tenants. We had a yearly game where we had to champion the game because everyone else was bandwagoning hate for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Cyberpunk, and before that it was Fallout 76 and shit. We were like, did you just play the game, or did you just see how everyone else was complaining about it and dogpile on it? Like, if you played it and legitimately didn't like it, like, That's cool. But it felt like everything, with the bag with the collector's edition and all that shit. And I was like, I don't even care about the bag. Are you really using the bag that much? You needed a duffel bag that bad?
Yes.
Now I will say that I had a major malfunction with Cyberpunk 2077 on my PS4. I was playing the game and trying to record gameplay footage to do a review on my channel, and the game crashed. And when it crashed hard because my PS4 didn't know it was a PS4 anymore. It wiped out the entire operating system off the hard drive.
It's suicide bombed your fucking PS4.
And I had to reinstall everything for the PlayStation 4. I had to get the USB and plug it in and do the whole like update off of a USB, and then had to reinstall all of my games. It corrupted the whole hard drive.
Your complaint might be valid.
but here's the thing: is I love the game, and it's probably still one of my favorite games. It
was really great. I still have to jump into it on the Xbox, but I
put it on the Xbox One. Jason played it on the PS4 Pro. I played it on the Xbox One X, and I didn't have. I had graphical.
Yeah,
like it was like someone would walk in front of a metallic surface, and it would be like this ghosty, shadowy thing that would follow them. Or like I'd be driving super fast on a motorcycle through a town, and it wouldn't populate very well, or something. But the only real issue I had with it was I did a mission where I had to steal a car and drop it off at that garage. And I got there, and the car from the previous mission with them was still in the garage. And I couldn't get it to trigger the end part of that mission. So I come in with I was able to get the new mission, get the new car, and I come in there, I'm like, where am I supposed to park this thing?
Why are you so damn efficient? We haven't even got to chop this one up yet.
Yeah. So like I ended up like ramming the new car in on top of the old one, and then just said, fuck it, and I left. And I want to say 2 hours later, I'm like on a motorcycle driving through some town on some new mission. All of a sudden, both of them like pop. Both of the missions like completed. I'm like, oh, okay.
He's like, yeah, we got your British double-decker bus that you dropped off. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, all right, at least I got the credit for it. So yeah, but that was it. That was the extent of my issues with it. It never crashed on me.
I don't think I got any crashes or anything like that, but I had, I'll say 3 small things. Only one actually affected the gameplay. First one was I was talking to Johnny Silverhand or whatever, and he was just like floating. I was like, Keanu is a demigod.
He's magical.
That's okay.
He's a magical person. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. That's fine. I allow it. I'll allow it.
Yeah. Like this probably just happens to sometimes when people are talking to Keanu. They're like, "Dude, we're trying to mocap you right now. Can you not be floating?" People are gonna think it's something with the game.
Like, I know we're really in the Matrix, but come on.
Yeah. And then another one is I was in a gunfight in a building. I think it was actually one of the missions where you're Johnny.
Oh, it's the wall.
And I shot a guy at the shotgun, and he just went into the door that was locked that I was supposed to go through later on. But it was just like I stuffed him into a garbage can because it was just his face and his hands and his feet were going, and I was like, "Gotcha, bitch!" That was great to me. I was like, I wish everyone I shot did that shit. And then like later on, like the door opened for whatever in the mission, and then he fell down, and I was like, yeah,
punk ass.
Then the only thing that affected the gameplay was when you had to do those like rogue AI taxi missions, where the guy had to like go and track down all the ones depressed, and the other one. There was the one that was driving like a maniac around in the one
near the mall.
I think so. Yeah, it's just driving around like a maniac, and you had to like get within a certain amount of feet from it, and it would start hacking it, so it would like
turn them off.
Doing that. Yeah, and it would not acknowledge that. I was like, dude, I'm bumper to bumper with it. How close do I have to be? Maybe I have to be on the driver's side. And I was like, all right, now I think I'm close. Do I have to get in? Do I have to plug a USB into it? What do I got to do here? And then I just never. And I would like go, oh, whatever. I'm just in the area. Anytime I was in the area in the game, I'd go try it again. No, still not. Okay. So that's one thing I never got to complete all those missions, and that was the last one I had to do of those. So that was kind of a bummer. But besides that, nothing else affected my gameplay. So I was like, what? I'm just a real lucky guy, I guess.
Yeah.
And Church played it on the PC, and he didn't have any issues from what I remember.
And he played back to back with
he played it twice in a row.
Yeah. I very, very rarely do that. The only time I've done that recently was
God of War.
Dead Space. No, I just did absolutely everything in God of War, so I could be like, I can play other games now. But I did it in Dead Space because it was $90. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this right now. And I beat it, and then I went back on hard and beat it again and got the alternate ending. But
what's the alternate ending?
Well, you got to collect all these little artifact parts, and yeah, the ending's just very minorly different, but it was cool that they just did it anyway. Like there's parts that you can't do the other ending on your first playthrough. Like there's things that only show. It's one of those things where like the things only show up on your second playthrough. And the only other game I think I did that with was Spider-Man Miles Morales, because I beat it, but my son was bummed that I beat it, so we just played it again. And I was like, joke's on you, I had to do it anyway because there's a whole bunch of trophies for. One of them was for beating New Game Plus, but a bunch of them was just for like starting the New Game Plus, and you had a couple of the outfits I think you could only get in New Game Plus, some shit like that. And then I beat it again when I bought it on the PS5. So I just like swinging around the city, I guess.
Oh my gosh,
He's a swinger.
They nailed it.
He's a
Nailed
swinger.
that thing.
Yeah, I like, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You can tell I might like comic book characters at some point. But yeah, it was. That's definitely going to be my most excited, most anticipated game this year is Spider-Man 2, easily.
See, I'm waiting for them to come out with the super special edition of Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 5 that comes with this like little miniature USB fan that hooks up to the front of the PlayStation 5, and anytime that you're swinging really fast from through the building, it blows air in your face.
Oh, so it's a PlayStation 5D.
Yeah. And anytime Jameson's yelling at you, it sprays a little water in your face. You're like, oh my god, it's like I'm there. It's got coffee breath and it's spraying water. Ooh, I smell the coffee grounds. Yeah.
But Jedi Survivor.
But yeah, I liked it.
It was good. I liked it.
I would definitely like to play another one, but I'd be lying if I say I wasn't a little bit disappointed on it. But
yeah,
Star Wars is good. The worlds were, I don't know.
I expected more out of that stuff.
Yeah, they weren't as interesting as they were in the other ones. I'll say like they were Dathomir and all that stuff was a lot cooler to explore. They felt drastically different, not just like
it was like stuff I'd seen before in other games and other movies.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot of like Imperial installations and stuff like that.
And just the ridiculous.
And Jeddah, we've seen Jeddah. We saw that in Rogue One.
Yeah. Just honestly, the straight up gets annoying doing the traversal after a while. I got the same feeling when I beat all the Uncharted games in a row. I was like,
oh, wow.
I was like, can we just not? I just don't want to climb and swing and this and that for like a long time.
Yeah.
And I think I played that and like Last of Us and all that, or it was just like, can a door just be unlocked? Do I always have to go 2 blocks out of my way to get into the roof of this building? Can a door just be fucking unblocked and unlocked?
I'm experiencing that right now in Days Gone, where it's just like, oh my god, this door's locked too.
Once you get that Tommy gun,
I'm still early in it apparently because like I've only dealt with like 3 of the zombie hordes.
Oh god, wait till you get to the sawmill.
And like what the toughest one was the one that came out of the flipping train.
Yeah.
And
well, that's because you got like
sucks.
nothing. You got nothing at that point in time. But wait till you get the freaking Tommy gun and you go to the sawmill and you're basically running away from them and just like shooting behind you and taking out waves of them.
Wow.
That's a game that has such a cool after credit scene that will never get paid off.
Yeah, it's a real bummer. Because the guy's comments also didn't really help when he's like, if you wanted it, you should have bought it when it was new. If you wanted the second one, you're like, oh, how am I going to know I want the second one when I haven't bought the first one and played it yet? Should have bought it brand new. So sorry, man. Not everyone's
You mean
buying
back
games
when
the
it
day
was
they
a
come.
you mean when it was a buggy mess?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was buggier than when I played Cyberpunk. Because I remember I was driving my motorcycle along, like it was like a nothing road. There was nothing around me, and my motorcycle started sinking into the ground. And next thing you know, I was underneath. Like the geography. Like all of a sudden, it's like I'm in the void, and I can see the road above me.
Are you confusing it with Ride to Hell?
Are you sure it wasn't a sequel?
Wow.
An unofficial sequel?
I've had my weapon disappear, like just vanish, but I'm still shooting. And then a little bit later on the motorcycle, the character disappeared, and then right after that, the motorcycle disappeared. I'm just like, okay.
You've had years to fix this, guys.
You should have bought Day came out.
Yeah.
They released a patch where it just yells at you when something glitches instead of them actually fixing the glitch.
It's like your fault.
Wow.
It pops out like the toasty guy in Mortal Kombat. Should have bought it brand new. It's like, damn,
Your fault.
These are spike glitches. Weird. These are actually
spike glitches.
These were patched in.
Oh.
I played this day one. It didn't do this. Yeah, well, thanks for buying it day one, but fuck you.
Oh, so basically, it's instead of Toasty, he's going fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All of the day one players have used up all of the ammo.
Yeah. Day one edition is the only edition, motherfuckers.
All of those are set to self-destruct Mission Impossible style.
Yep. But now I'm playing Street Fighter 6.
Uh-oh.
How's that?
It's good. Like I started playing it yesterday, and I'm already like 18 hours in.
Wow.
Okay. Let me get a gauge for this. What was the Street Fighter before 6 that you really enjoyed?
2.
Not even like any of the alphas?
Alpha 2 was fun.
Okay.
I got that.
I'm talking like mainline. Just mainline 2 was probably the last one I really enjoyed. I had 4, but then they started doing the whole like, oh, here's the new version. Oh, here's the new version, and here's the new version.
The Ultra.
And they did that again with 5, and 5 was fucked at the start.
Yeah, like it's Street Fighter 6, but it's actually Street Fighter 47 if you're counting how many copies have come out of
But
these.
the thing that made me want to play this one is it has a story mode, like a Mortal Kombat game.
Okay.
Where's the last one just released with arcade mode?
Yeah, it was online only.
Yeah.
I had a pre-order for 5. I had pre-ordered 5 on Amazon, and then when the early reviews started coming out, they're like, yeah, it only has an online battle mode, and that's it. I was like, delete.
I think I got it for $5, and then I bought like the whatever.
Yeah, I bought the arcade edition,
the champion
about
edition
a year or two later.
Yeah, I got that one, the complete one.
Man.
And then
But
I got
this
the
one-
collection.
This one's got this like 40-hour story mode thing where you create your own character and you go to all the different parts of the world where all the different characters are and learn from them, and you start learning the fight stances of everybody.
Does it still go dot, 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 all over the world?
No.
Oh, cheap.
But whenever you go, it does that voice where it goes like Brazil,
Yeah.
But it's really fun. I created a character that I thought I was being clever. I thought I was making like Mike Hagar.
Yeah.
And then it turns out you're in the city from Final Fight the whole time.
Oh, no.
And Mike Hagar, they have like a statue to Mike Hagar. They're building a stadium for him and all that shit. And I was just like, well, I thought I was being clever. They beat me to it. I was like, shit. But it's really fun. Like the story mode is really fun.
Fuck Final Fight. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, you have the arcade machines of Final Fight in there. You have to play them and to get an achievement.
No! That's like the last thing I have to do for a platinum. Fuck
Yeah.
sakes.
Yeah. Just play. They're like all over the place. But yeah, you do like stupid fetch missions and stuff like that. But you finding all of the characters from the game and learning from their stances. Like you can switch between all of them once you start learning from them.
Mm-hmm.
And you get like experience the more you use it, and they'll start giving you more moves. And it's really fun. It's like an RPG almost. It's pretty cool the way it works. I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds almost like Street
did look
Fighter
really good.
took. It sounds like they took pages out of like an old PlayStation game. What, Fighter Maker?
Could be. I haven't really played that much, but
I
it's
played that
a
as
lot
well.
of fun. Like I saw Johnny Millennium's review, the Happy Console Gamers review of it, and he was like, "There's a story mode." I was like, "What?" Instantly, I was like, oh, because I love the Mortal Kombat story modes.
Oh yeah, and in the old like games, the story mode was like beat a tower, and then it goes.
Yeah, no,
then
this one is.
Then he went off on his own and he bought a farm.
Yeah, this one is like open worldy type of thing. It's really cool. I haven't even played the actual fighting game part of it yet.
Sweet.
But it's really fun. It's worth the money right now. That is worth the money alone right there. You can see that they like learned from part 5.
You're 18 hours in and you haven't beat anyone up yet?
No, I haven't actually played the one-on-one part. You do that kind of stuff in the story mode. I haven't actually played that mode.
I'm just joking. It's like
I know. I got you.
Traveling in finance and meeting people. It's like a dating sim.
Yeah, it's great. I like it so far. I wanted to play that before I started playing Diablo 4.
Sweet. I hear it might absorb your soul if we could reach Church for comment, we'd do that. But I think he's probably playing Diablo 4.
Yeah, he probably like the big bags under his eyes and shit. And he looks all gaunt. Like, I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Pile of crushed energy drinks, even though he doesn't drink energy drinks.
Like, oh, kickstart! Oh.
Yeah.
It's like, Mom, bathroom. That's a good
piles
boy.
of
That's my big boy.
Pizza boxes behind him.
Yeah.
That's my big boy.
He's sitting on a couch made of pizza boxes. Yeah, but apparently it's a good game, so that's cool.
Another one to go on to the list to purchase.
Yeah, I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, if you like Street Fighter, you're gonna love Street Fighter 6. They finally did something with it.
I do want to play it, but I'm getting very, very picky with games now that they're gone up another $10 for this generation. I'm like, I don't $90 want almost any game.
I got lucky. When I bought Diablo and I bought Street Fighter, I got them for PS4 price.
Okay. Well, like I've got Link tattooed on my arm, and I cannot give a shit about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I'm not.
We were talking about that before we
started.
So it's $90 Canadian, and I'm like, man, I don't. Especially not just because I'm sick of hearing about it from like the second day it was out. So it's going to be at least a year. I mean, I know those don't go any cheaper unless someone sells it on Facebook. Maybe
Black Friday, possibly you might get lucky.
Super lucky. 3 years from now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I can't care about it, and like I'm really judging like how much hours of gameplay am I going to get out of this. Like I knew Star Wars, I was going to get like 30 hours of play out of it, so I was like, worthy. Like if I'm playing more than minimum wage per hour to play the game, I don't think it's really worth. And I better be playing that game right away. Like it's not like, oh yeah, I got a stack of the new releases. I'll get to them when I get to them. Now it's like $90 fucking, bud. Play it today. And then when you're taking a break from that one, play the other game you bought today because you're playing that shit. Yeah. So I'm gonna be real picky. There's like a list of games I got that I want, but I don't $90 want them. Like I do want to get the Resident Evil 4 remake, but I'm sure it won't be as short as the Resident Evil 3 remake was for me, where I beat it in 2.5 hours. I was like, damn, that's like $40 an hour to play that game. So,
ouch.
I played it like I'd beat it before and was just doing the speed run. I was like, oh, is there like puzzles or anything that are gonna like slow my progress on this at all? I think I'm really close to the end. Okay, that's credits. I think that means I beat it already. Or is this just the first chapter? No, I beat it. Shit. No wonder they included that separate multiplayer game with it to make me forget that I spent $80 on a 2.5 hour game. Cool.
Yeah, I haven't bought the 4th remake yet either. I'll probably wait for Black Friday for that.
Yeah, I know most stuff drops drastically after a few months on Amazon anyway, and I can just get it. Like I'm probably gonna get the
Prime Day's coming.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna get the Crisis. I'm gonna get the Crisis Core remake soon here too, because I'm like, oh, that one will be worth it. I mean, that one would have been worth it anyway because it wasn't a full price game, but I'm still being cheap with it for some reason. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And
what you been playing, man?
A lot. Speaking of Moandain, just playing Rift Apart. I actually just finished Rift Apart a little while ago. Excellent game. It was a lot of fun. I never played a lot of the Ratchet and Clank games, but I always really enjoy them when I do, and I think I have like almost all of them, if not all of them. So I should make it a priority to like try those out more. Like I played the first one when it came out because my brother bought it, or got me. Maybe he just got me to buy it, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fun." And I just never really, I don't know, progressed. And I don't know if I saw them as a little kid game or something, but I just never really got into it. And then I just, for some reason, decided to play the remake of the first one. That was the movie game, like I don't know, a year ago, and I really enjoyed that. But I just still didn't go and play other ones till Rift Apart. I got for finally a decent price after 2.5 years of it being out or whatever it was. I really enjoyed that. Since I had an opinion on Jedi Survivor, I also played and beat that. So that was cool. And kind of a depression buy after I sold my copy of Valkyrie Profile. I was like, I'm just going to buy the HD Valkyrie Profile Lenneth and play that because it's like $15-20 on the PS5. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Then I'll be like, okay, and I'm not sad that I sold it. And then I've also been playing Wild Arms 1 because it's good. And it's bumming me out that I've like sold most of those now too. So I'm like, should have played more of that. Well, you were the first one because you got first dibs, but yeah, I've sold quite a few of them now. But yeah, I've just been I don't know. I haven't been playing very many short games. I've been doing a lot of long games.
Yeah, I've been avoiding the RPG year thing of mine and just playing all the new stuff.
Seems to be what I've been doing is just, man, what's a long ass game? Because then I'll know it'll last me multiple night shifts or something. I'm playing a little bit.
I still need to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I've got my son's really into the Left 4 Dead games because of me, and he loves zombie crap. So right away I was just like, you're gonna love this shit. So anytime we got time to play a game together, we've been playing that. And also, I'll spoil one of my pickups now, and I've been actually playing Stray.
Yeah,
I picked it up. It was like 25 Canadian at a GameStop when I was out of town last week. And my daughter is obsessed with cats.
It's fun.
And like I remember I showed her the trailer when it came out. She's like, "Dad, you got to get that." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll get it eventually."
It took forever for it to come out physically.
Well, and I probably also took a while to buy it. So
yeah.
So I got a decent price on it, and I was like, sure. And it's mostly been like her playing it, and me just kind of instructing, hey, maybe you can jump up to that. And she's basically solving stuff for her. Yeah. She just walks around hitting the meow button constantly. She absolutely is all about it. If all you did was walk around and do cat shit instead of like there be an actual game there, she'd be totally cool with that. If it was like Nintendo cats, she'd be like, yeah. So she's obsessed. Like I'm downplaying how obsessed with cats she is. So she was absolutely over the moon to play that. And we don't have as many games together as I seem to have with the other kids. Like Sarah and I always play like zombie related stuff and Lego games with, and Araya we've got like 5 games on the go all the time. So we actually have to complete a game one of these days together. But I also bought the Cat Quest pack, Cat Quest 1 and 2.
Yeah, I beat the first one.
I got those like last 2 years ago now, maybe. So we'll have to sit down and play those together. But yeah, that's about all I've been playing. Are you about to start playing something now? Yeah.
No, I'm prepping.
Okay. You're just like, about that. I actually
Break
start
the seal.
You're like you had your sealed copy of Stray right there. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to play it. Sounds good.
I beat that one last year.
You're like, wait, are you serious? Yeah.
That was on my games I beat in 2022 list.
I know. I remember. I paid attention.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been I've been playing a bit more lately. Aside from my roulette game that I did play.
Ooh.
I did not get lost in the purge. I managed to keep it. So yeah. What have you guys been watching? What's some cool shit you've been watching? New movies or old movies, shows? Moandain.
Oh Lord. So one of my neighbors got rid of a bunch of his Blu-rays and stuff, and like I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife again just because I love it.
Yes, it's great.
I watched Tombstone because my neighbor gave it to me. John Wick 1 through 4. because I can. Weird movie called Upgrade. Not sure anyone
Sounds
else
familiar.
has seen. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yes.
Sounds familiar.
Upgrade. Yeah, okay.
That's
Sounds
Black
very
Mirror, the movie.
It's so weird. The old 80s Transformers movie.
Hell fucking yeah.
Yep.
Serenity, Prometheus. Again, I work IT, and every once in a while there's like things that happen where I'm basically watching paint dry and just watching a progress bar run.
Yeah.
So like I'll watch movies while I'm doing that. And like Godzilla King of the Monsters, Big Trouble in Little China, all of the Predators movies.
We don't talk about the Predator around these parts.
There's a sign. Don't make me tap the sign. No, the Predator. Yeah.
Back to the Future trilogy, Darkest Hour, which was kind of nice.
Oh, I got the 3D of that.
Of Darkest Hour?
The one about the kids in Russia?
No, it's the one where it's Winston Churchill.
Oh, the wrong Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
Not the Megadeth song?
No. We can talk about my musical influences later.
That sounds good.
Okay, Dan B.
Interstellar, Sicario. Yeah, that's some weird TV shows. Dr. Teeth in the Electric Mayhem.
Oh, I wanted to watch that. I still haven't got. I was waiting for my wife to have time to watch that. She's big on the Muppets.
Yeah, me too. It was one of those things where, like, when I was sick as a little kid, I would watch the Muppets at home and stuff when I was sick, and then I got into playing drums, and like Animal became like my favorite Muppet, and he's part of Dr. Teeth in the Electric Mayhem, and it's actually a decent show. Watching Hell's Kitchen with the wife because she likes watching an Englishman scream obscenities to people who can't fight back.
They're just trying their best, man.
They're just trying their best. Oh my god.
Yeah.
God, what else? Legend of Black Heaven, which is an anime that almost no one's ever heard of.
I have not heard of that. Yeah, you are correct.
It's kind of neat. Like, there's this guy that's a retired metal band lead guitarist.
Why have I not heard of this then?
And like he's got this like super sad job and stuff, and like his wife keeps throwing away his guitar, and he's just like, oh my god, why are you throwing my guitar away? And then like these aliens come, and they're just like, your music is the thing that activates our super weapon, come help us save the universe. And it gets weirder from there.
Oh, it's right up there with Kenny saving the universe with his PSP on South Park.
It's just, it gets so super weird from there, but it's a lot of fun. If you can track it down, I would suggest it.
Is it on any of the streaming?
No, not that I could tell. But it's just the Legend of Black Heaven, and it's I don't even think it's on Blu-ray. I think it's
you're not
DVD only.
You're not trolling me and just getting me to Google that, and then it brings me to something sketchy, are you? All right, well, that's good.
That's it. That's all I've been pretty much watching.
That's a lot. Well, Chris, you seen any things?
Oh, I've seen some shit.
I don't think we discussed John Wick 4 yet. Speaking of John
Yeah,
Wick
we did
4.
actually. Yeah, we did.
We did? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was just me and you, or if we'd done it on the podcast.
I've seen some new stuff, seen some old stuff. I saw Fast 10.
I'm sorry.
It's one of the best ones they've made. It's like absolute batshit crazy.
I'll take your word for it.
Jason Momoa makes it. If he wasn't in it, it wouldn't be nearly. It's like the director just said, "Go and have fun," and it's like him just going off the rails all the time, and he makes it worth watching.
Sweet.
But it is just it has no plot. It is just action after action scene after action scene after action scene. It's really fun and fast paced.
Well, you said it was a fast movie. I wasn't expecting a plot or a story.
No, well, that's the thing about the other ones is they try. This one was just kind of like the hell with that.
Let's just do what we're good at.
Yeah, let's just spend that budget, and it is like my friends and I, we have smiles on our faces the whole time. We're just like, I can't believe that they're just like upping each other. Every action scene is just getting bigger and bigger. So it was fun.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Then I saw Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Shazam! Yay!
Shazam, yeah. Then 65. Which,
That's the Adam Driver one, isn't it?
yeah. Nah.
How's that? Yeah.
Nah.
A couple people were like, Did
It's
you
like,
see it? I was like,
it's a movie that needed to be 2.5 hours long, and it's like 88 minutes.
okay. Yeah, I had a bunch of people ask me if I watched it, like it was a new Marvel movie or something. Like, how did you not go see it? How did you not watch it? Because it was up like digitally right away, and I was like, I don't know.
I just rented it on Amazon, I think, for like $5.
Because I'm like the work bully when a Marvel one comes out, because everyone there is a big Marvel fan. They're all like talking about, oh, we're gonna go see it like Friday, like when it comes out. And then I come in on Sunday, I'm like, which one of you motherfuckers didn't see it yet? So I can't talk about it. Because then all of them like talk a big game, and then no one goes and sees it and waits till it's on Disney Plus. I'm like, you motherfuckers! I need someone to talk about it with. So that's why I'm real appreciative of you, Chris. I can always talk to you about the movies because you see more movies than I do. So
I don't know if we talked about.
You got to bully
Guardians
me
3.
more. Like, why didn't you see that shit that I saw?
You bullied me into watching The Predator. I don't know if we talked about Guardians 3 last time.
I didn't realize I was that bad of a friend.
No, it wasn't.
You watched Prey though, right?
Because I just remember he's like, it was like the Friday the movie came out. He's like, did you see The Predator yet? No, we need to talk about it, so go see it.
See if you could get someone else to bring you to it though. Don't pay for it.
And then I went and saw it that Monday, and I was like, yeah, that sucked. And he was like, yes, I know.
Sorry, you had to be my friend that needed to feel my pain so he could bitch about
it. He's like, yes.
I still owe you for that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, did we talk about Guardians last time? I don't recall.
I believe we did.
Okay.
But if not, fuck, what a good movie.
Yeah.
What a way to go out, James Gunn. And
dropping the first F-bomb in Marvel history.
Had to. It was an essential crucial part to
do that. One of the goriest movies they've made too.
Yeah, it was
that last scene with the High Evolutionary. It's just kind of like,
damn.
Like,
yeah.
Are you trying to scare the children?
On general consensus of my kids, it was cool and they liked it. No one was like sad. Even the ones that are really obsessed with cute little animals were like, yeah. Did you happen to see Guardians 3 one day?
Unfortunately not. While I have lots of other free time to do things, my free time usually is like confined to the house.
That's cool.
So
got Disney Plus in a month.
Yeah, I don't. It was very, very good, and it gives me more faith that he's going to do good by the DC. Since I've already been a big fan of his DC work he's done already. So hoping that continues.
It looks like they might be able to continue the movies without him, but we'll see if they will or not.
A bunch of them are like,
it's probably the best Marvel movie I've seen since Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah. I liked it more than Doctor Strange 2, but I liked Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah,
and I like Spider-Man. I'd say I liked it about
that came out after Spider-Man.
If it wasn't for Spider-Man's being in Spider-Man, I'd say I liked it more than that. But the actual movie itself, like taking my Spider-Man love that I'm literally wearing on my shirt right now. And, if I take the Spider-Man factor and that I'm always going to give Spider-Man the win, I'd say it's probably as a movie, it's a better movie. So,
okay, you're talking about Spider-Man a lot. Who is your favorite artist for Spider-Man?
Rob Liefeld.
No. John Romita Sr. Probably. I think I liked his work on like the
guy who could draw feet.
Basically, the one that followed up Steve Ditko. Who's like basically the second one to. I don't know how big you're into the artist and stuff, but I liked Todd's work on it too. Some people kind of hate Todd, but
that was when I got into it. Was when Todd McFarlane was doing it.
I
really like Todd. There's one specific cover, and you're probably gonna like spit out exactly which issue it is, where it's like Spider-Man crouched down, and he's like this web of like this huge web behind him, and he's just like crouched down in the classic Spider-Man.
I think that's Spider-Man number one. That's issue number one of the series.
The reboot,
called Spider-Man.
when they restarted.
Like Todd got his own series after, and it was
Yeah, I think that wasn't that Todd.
Yeah, and it had,
Yeah.
and it
was
had
really good. I love.
There's
the way
3
that it
different
was.
covers. There's a black and silver, a black and gold, and a green one, I believe.
I had the coppery one and I had the silver one.
Yeah, that is a really cool one. Yeah, there's another one he did a cover for, and it was like a drug related one. Maybe he didn't do that cover, but it was like one of those things that like they would give out like as an anti-drug kind of thing, and it was like I don't know if it was just maybe it was just Canadian, but I remember like thinking that was a really cool cover because it's like
Canadian.
Yeah. I remember like one kid was wearing a fucking Oilers jersey on the cover, so I'm like, all right, this might be just a Canadian thing. Edmonton Oilers. Like, anyway, hockey. I can't believe we mentioned a hockey thing on this podcast. We have to call it quits, bud.
Yeah.
But,
let me see. I also saw Renfield, which I thought was pretty dumb. The premise is cool. The idea of having Nicolas Cage play Dracula is awesome, but the movie itself is just kind of like we're not going to go as far as we probably should to make it work. And plus, it's like 80 minutes long and has like 15 minutes of super long end credits to get it to the 95-minute mark. And it's just I didn't enjoy it.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, but then there's 2 other movies we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah. Okay. Moandain, is this the one you're talking about?
What? Yes.
Yeah, that's
oh my gosh.
They gave Todd his own little series. I think he did the first 16 or 17 issues of it. And I love that one too.
The sharpness, the sharp angles in the eyes and stuff like that.
Just the size of the eyes kind of grew too.
Very Spawn-esque.
And like, I mean, just even like the weird detail of like right between the eyes where the bridge of his nose is and stuff. Like you could tell that he was trying his best to actually just impress anybody.
Yeah. And just I liked like this. He brought in like more contorted swinging poses, which I really appreciated too.
Yeah, so his aesthetic was what kind of like went through the movies.
I kind of like showed off how nimble he is more than just him like looking like a guy swinging on a rope. Like a lot of people drew him like he was Tarzan, just kind of swinging through the jungle.
No.
He's a life motherfucker.
And if you think of like the '67 cartoon, that's literally what he would do.
Yeah,
swinging on nothing. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I really appreciate about Todd. But yeah, I'd say John Romita Sr. as far as like old school goes, because also rest in peace to him. He just died last week, I believe. But yeah, some of my favorite covers were from him, and I think my earliest Spider-Man comic is one that he drew, and it's right after the one where like the Green Goblin is dragging Spider-Man and he's unmasked and his like clothes are ripping. And I don't know if it's a real famous cover. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that one, but he's like dragging Spider-Man on like a rope, and he's like unmasked and like he's got his street clothes, but they're all ripping to show that he's Spider-Man underneath. It's like probably one of my favorite Spider-Man covers ever. Yeah, that's the first one. That's the first one he ever did, I believe. So it's been one of my like. I mean, obviously, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Fantasy 15 would be the grails, but as far as ones like I just have always wanted, I think that issue has been one of my attainable goals.
I've seen all of those that you mentioned because I used to work at a comic book shop like 20 years ago, and it was up on the wall. you know? I mean, it's like up on the big plastic black backed wall that's like out of reach. You have to like
you have to ask someone who works there. Yeah, so no one steals it, because if it's in the box, someone's just going to be like, I'm going to slip it in the back of the bag for this other one so I can get a deal. Oh my gosh,
the number of people that tried to pull that nonsense.
Yeah,
where they tried to put double books in one thing, and I'm just like, yeah, that's cute. You don't get to buy this extra rare like first appearance of Beta Ray Bill because you're buying this Archie comic.
Yeah, this dollar bin book with a
exactly. And I'm just like, so here's your total. I wouldn't even call them out on it. I'd just say, here's your total, and it would be like hundreds of dollars. Wait a minute, how's this? Oh yeah, you didn't notice this other book in here? Did you want me to take that out? They're like, yeah, because this is like a $400 book, so I'm just gonna take it out and put it back. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, some of my bitch.
Speaking of it, just because I have it on hand, this is the comic that actually got me to start collecting again after I stopped when I was a kid. But this one is like one of my other all-time favorites. It's not a super pricey one or anything, but it was one of my favorite. Like, it's one of the ones I bought when I was a kid off the rack. So
every time I see that Venom, it's the first thing that comes to mind is I'm gonna eat your brain.
Yeah.
In comics, I was the weird kid. Like even amongst the comic book kids, like I collected Clive Barker's Hyperkind.
Sweet.
Which like no one knows what the hell that is.
Hyperkind. I don't think
I love Clive Barker, but I've never heard of that.
Yeah, he made his own comic. I like the IDW comics for Transformers. I think that
not me.
is unbelievably good.
You guys know me. What the fuck you think I was collecting when it came to comic books back in the day?
I was just saying not me because
all the movie stuff.
Because Chris literally just gave me most of his comic collection, and it was all his IDW Transformers and Dreamwave.
I love that style. It's just really, really speaks to me.
Did you ever read the Nightbreed comics at all?
Yeah, I had a shitload of those.
The Clive Barker comic. I just got the first issue of that in that big bin.
There was the Hellraiser comics that they were doing, but they weren't really about Pinhead. It was like an anthology thing.
Pinhead's like such a small side character in the actual the source material of Hellraiser, which is funny because he's like, or I guess she now is
well in the book it's like this androgynous character, like it doesn't really have a male or a female sex. It's just kind of like in between.
Yeah. But
it's man twat licked by a pillar of severed heads.
Pretty metal.
Licking him, them.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, but it's for me.
I read that book like 10 times. It's only like that thick. It's like super thin. It's
like a graphic novel.
It's like a novella.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. That's my favorite book of all time.
Sweet. Yeah, love me some Hellraiser. But it was a surprise one and with all that other stuff. Well, what else have you watched before I spill what I've been watching? The secrets are gonna be
I'm gonna wait until we talk about the special stuff.
Okay. Well, I didn't watch a whole lot of anything new on TV or streaming. Nothing really interesting there. I've been watching the new season of Dark Side of the Ring, which is that wrestling biography type series that's all about old school stuff, so I actually care about it. I've probably mentioned it on here before. I know we don't do a lot of wrestling talk on here, but I love the old school wrestling stuff.
Did X-Pac just come back?
Who knows? Or cares?
Wow.
I saw that motherfucker in Kmart right across the bridge from where I live, and I was like, I need chips, and I was like, oh, never mind, X-Pac's down there, and I just didn't. His grandparents live in International Falls, and we've got some pretty funny X-Pac stories. I was like, I don't need chips that bad. X-Pac's down there. I don't want X-Pac grease on my chips.
So funny thing is, I've run into several professional wrestlers, and it's because I live it's not a big secret that I live in Alabama. It's not a big secret that I live in central Alabama. So I live close to a specific hospital called Health South. It is the place that all the professional wrestlers get sent to when they mess themselves up.
Like spinal fusions and all that shit.
Well, do you remember when Triple H messed his arm up really bad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tore his, what was it called? The something? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Where it looked like his bicep imploded. It was just skinny. He had a skinny arm out of nowhere.
Yeah, because it rolls up like a window shade.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, he was. I met him.
Okay.
And he was
the boss now, basically.
He was dating Stephanie at the time and stuff. They weren't even married yet. I saw him at a restaurant, and I was like, "Aren't you?" And he's kind of sighed, and he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Dude, I'm really sorry that that happened to your arm. No one deserves to be hurt like that." And he was like, "Oh, thank you." And I've ran into Terry Bollea. I've run into Kevin Nash.
I met Kevin Nash. He wasn't nice.
He was okay, nice, but he was at a Hooters at the time.
You're being a real fucking super shredder, bud.
You're being that douche from the Punisher movie.
Yeah, you're being a lot like the Russian right now.
Oh God. And then there's like a handful of others that because it's like, Health South is in Birmingham, Alabama, and you say Birmingham, Alabama to any wrestler and their eyes roll. They're just like, "Oh God, I hate that place." And the reason they hate it is because they usually show up here when they're screwed up.
Yeah.
And they have
I might never wrestle again if I don't get the surgery.
Yeah, and it's like you have to show up here because this is the best place to go.
For the specialists and all that.
And like every person who's come out of that place has returned to work and been successful at doing so.
Sweet.
Like I think Randy Orton showed up after he broke his neck. Maybe.
God damn.
I could be wrong. But it's just everything. Like all of the major football players show up. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah, and and the Birmingham police are super, super against any of the paparazzi because they'll bash a camera with a baton in a heartbeat.
Pretty awesome.
They make him leave you alone.
Like kayfabe, and then just break.
Bam!
We can't see that.
X-Pac.
Sorry, I thought you were holding the camera.
Sandra Bullock's dad used to live here before he passed away, and she would show up and visit him and stuff, and no one bothered her. Not one bit.
They were saying the same things like that in Georgia because Tyler Perry shoots all of his shows and movies down there.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim Kardashian was in one of the shows he was doing, and she would dart. One of my brother's my brother works in Hollywood. One of his actor friends was the bad guy on one of Tyler Perry's shows for one season, and Kim Kardashian was in an episode or two, and every time she would leave the studio, she would run to the limo to avoid paparazzi, and Tyler Perry would be standing there going "You don't have to do that. No one's going to bother you here. No one gives a shit."
Empty street.
He's like, "It's the way it works. That's why one of the reasons why we shoot here is because there's no paparazzi. Nobody gives a shit."
Yeah.
She's what are you changing into? She's taking off her heels and also she's put on Reebok pumps.
Yeah.
I got to run pretty fast.
Come on, Sonic.
I mean, that's
got to go fast.
That's essentially how the Southeast works, man.
Everywhere should work like that.
Oh my God.
It's fucking it's a ridiculous harassment, but some of them call ahead to make sure the paparazzi are there.
True.
So they can be seen.
I mean, it's a rumor that Warwick Davis lived in the Birmingham metro area for years and years and years.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason it's still a rumor, but the only reason that apparently he moved was a tornado came through and tore all of the trees out of his front yard.
Oh shit.
But I mean, it's still just a rumor. No one was able to confirm it or not. But it's holy God!
He's yelling at it. Not all of us want to live in Oz. Fuck off.
Oh,
no. So what you're saying is that tornado came down into his front lawn and went out of the way, Peck.
Hey, it was coming for his dues to the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah. I met him too, and he's not nice.
I met Chewy, the guy who played Chewy. He is not nice.
Chewy? Mayhew?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was asleep at the convention I was at, but I actually went and got an autograph from Warwick Davis, and it was him and the guy who played Migosh in Willow, his little buddy. Mm-hmm. And Migosh was like, "Hey, people want my autograph! Yay!" He was super cool and nice. And Warwick Davis is sitting there get the fuck out of my face kind of attitude.
Oh, that's always cool when you're paying their bills.
Because I was standing there, I was just like, I was with my buddy Justin. I was like, who do I go to first? Do I go to Willow or do I go to Migosh? And I could see Warwick Davis going, could we fucking speed this up, please? Wow. Looking at me, and I was just sorry. Walk up and get his autograph, and he just kind of like throws over to Migash. Migash is like, we're going to personalize it. Yay!
I'll write you a bedtime story on it.
I mean, that's like when I was going to Dragon Con a bunch, that's one of the things the actors absolutely loved. It was like I'd be sitting there at the bar after like the convention had somewhat shut down and it was into the night phase where like none of the people were doing signatures anymore. And I'd look over and it'd be like, someone would bump into me and it was like, oh, like that's so-and-so. I mean, hell, the guy who played Garibaldi from Babylon 5.
Oh.
He bumped into me and made me... He bumped into me and made me like spill my drink across the bar, and he looked over and says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he bought me like 12-year-old scotch, and we sat there for a while and like sipped the scotch and talked back and forth. And he told me that the reason that he loved Dragon Con so much is like the very thing that we were doing, which was he was getting treated like a normal human being.
Yeah,
when I was at Dragon Con that one year, I met all the Next Generation crew people. It was Gates McFadden, who was not nice.
Do you meet anyone nice?
She made fun of me. I was wearing a Green Lantern Corps. I was wearing like a Lantern Corps shirt, and I went and got her autograph. And she, for some reason, because it was Brent Spiner, Jonathan Frakes, and her, but they had her sitting away from everybody else. So she was like at the front. She was at the front of the autograph area, and they were like in the back for some reason.
Diva.
So I don't know if she was pissed off that she got separated or whatever, but she was in a pissy mood. So like I walk up and I get an autograph. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And she goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "I want this picture," and she goes to sign it, and she like looks up and she goes, "What is on that shirt?" And I go, "Oh, it's the Lantern Corps, Green Lantern. It's like the symbol for the Lantern Corps." She's like, "I've seen a lot of these geeks walking around with that on," and I was like,
she rolls up her sleeve and it's Sinestro Corps.
So like when she goes, when she finished with the autograph, I just kind of like snapped it away. I was like, "Thanks," and I walked away. But when I got to Frakes, like Frakes and Spiner both looked like they were done for the day.
Yeah.
But I decided not to talk about Star Trek to them, so I talked to Frakes. I was like, "You got any more directing stuff coming up? Because I really like your style." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do another thing with the Librarian, and I got this other thing I'm doing." And he was just like, "Yeah, this and this and that. Yeah, thank you," kind of shit. And then I went and talked to Spiner, and I asked Spiner about Threshold.
Sweet.
Which was that one show he was on for like one season.
You didn't gush over Master Disguise?
No. I should have talked about Dude, Where's My Car?
Oh,
I would like to give you guys some beers. But I'm like, were you bummed that Threshold got canceled? And he went like, yeah, because like I really liked that. It was Peter Dinklage. It was Carly Gugino. And I can't remember who else was on the show, but he was like, yeah, it was like super fun, and we knew that where they was supposed to end up going, but we're never going to get there. And he's like, but it was really sad. He goes, it was sadder than like when Next Gen ended, because they never got to fulfill their potential, and they did with Next Gen. And he liked talking about it so much that he went and like shook my hand afterwards, and like they don't do that very often. This is before you had to like book a picture, with these people. This was like 2007.
Yeah,
so they were really cool.
Well, we met Miss Deanna Troy. I've told you that story before.
Yeah, I saw her at Gen Con, and I just got a picture of her sitting at her table because I didn't want to bug her because I hear she was kind of mean.
No, she was super nice with us. I think I've told you a couple times about it, where she like we met her, and I think we were meeting someone else next to her, and she just started talking to us, and then I came out, and then we're like, well, we were coming to your table next. You don't need to come over. We're like. I was like, this is kind of reverse. And then she ended up talking to us for like 20 minutes and stuff. And she saw that we had like 2 kids. She's like, stop it, too. It's going to be way too much. And we straight up didn't listen. We're like, we had 4. So I'll have to meet her again. Didn't listen. What? But yeah, she was super cool. And Tia Carrera was at the same table, maybe next to her. And then she was hanging out too. And that was cool. But, yeah, I've had a pretty good experience with all the Next Generation people we've met. We met not as many, but
yeah.
Frakes was cool. We met him at GalaxyCon. Patrick Stewart was awesome.
Yeah, I haven't met him.
Rhea Sardis was cool.
I met Michael Dorn at a Star Trek convention like back in the 90s.
I never met him, but
he was cool. He really likes doing the. He used to be the voice of Head and Shoulders. like for the commercials for a while.
I remember that. Oh
Yeah,
my
so
gosh.
someone, when he was up on stage, like doing his little presentation or whatever, someone was like, "Can you do your head and shoulders thing?" And he was just like, "What, you mean
dishonorable.
like symptoms, itchy, flaky scalp?" And that whole place roared.
Yeah,
He was cool.
I
Troy was
smite-
supposed to be there. Troy was supposed to be at a convention that I was at, but she canceled. She couldn't get a flight or something for some reason. So they brought in Robert Duncan McNeil from Voyager.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart didn't talk to me as much, but he was all about Araya. Thought her name was really cool. Thought Cherish's name was real cool. But yeah, he talked more to them, and I was like,
"Oh, he's Jason."
but it was cool. I'm the one that got the autograph. If he wasn't so fucking expensive, I would have got a Professor X and a Captain Picard, but we just got the Captain Picard. Whereas like some of the others, I would get like, I like this character and this character. Like we met someone else, that guy who does Skeletor and Falcor, and he was much
Oppenheimer or whatever.
Yeah, much cheaper. So I got a Skeletor, and my wife got Falcor.
He-Man, you boob.
Where I think it would have been like $200 to get two from him. So probably I think it's gone up now, because it seems like the last one I went to, I was like, I got to be more choosy. Everyone's charging like upwards of, I think it was like $75 or something at the time.
Yeah, last
I was like,
autograph
that's
I
not
paid
too-
for was
Yeah, he was the most expensive.
Alcon.
Oh, okay.
For Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Well, yeah.
That was at MGC. That was he was a surprise guest. He wasn't even on the list.
Oh,
I just walked into the arcade. I was just like, "Oh, Brian Thompson's here. All right."
Sorry about it.
Yeah, I'm like, "You're cool. The movie you're in was shit, but I mean, you're cool."
It's not your fault. I don't
Yeah.
think, was it?
Like, at least you look like you were trying.
You know, this isn't voice work. You got to actually look like you're happy
Yeah.
to be there. Oh
Wow.
shit! I thought I was a voice actor. Yeah. Some people, you'd swear they thought they were going to be CG'd out and just be like playing the voice or something. When you actually watch them, you're like, he sounds like he's happy to be there, but you're looking at him, he might as well just be in like a bathrobe, sitting down.
Recording in a closet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty rough. But some pretty big movies have been coming out since Guardians kind of started it off. We got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We got Flash. We got Transformers Rise of the Beasts. I'm going to mention Flash a second time, just so you know it's on purpose.
Yeah, it ended up being way better than I expected.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it to support the people who aren't named Ezra Miller that were involved with it, because it's not their fault that they're a dick.
Honestly, I don't care about all the politics around it. I actually like Ezra Miller's portrayal of the Flash.
That's what sucks the most about
It's a real shame. But
yeah,
like,
they're awesome as that character, but it's just a shame.
I'm not big enough into Flash.
They're a
That's not
butthead.
how a lot of people like the Flash to be. But I usually find the Flash kind of annoying in like the animated stuff, and I find Ezra Miller's Flash pretty funny, and like the comedy doesn't seem forced.
That was perfect casting.
So
Well, he's so awkward because like when he's running that fast, he can't hear anything.
yeah,
And so like he feel like anytime he's using his power, he's isolated. And
Yeah.
I forgot, like I think someone in one of like the earlier movies, like one of the behind the scenes things, are like trying to mention that, where it's like he feels isolated because he's using his power. Like no one else keeps up with him except for Superman in that one scene.
that's the best. That's the best.
Which isn't
Which
even
Superman
canon
is like-
anymore.
in the
Yeah,
first.
which isn't even canon anymore.
In the first, in the first version of that movie, that was the coolest part of the whole movie to me. Was when he just does that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's just
When he gave him the side eye, when he gave him that epic side eye,
Yeah.
he goes,
And
he's
it's
just like,
like,
the
you
Flash
ain't slick.
face like, fuck.
He's like, oh, I
I'm in
got.
trouble.
Especially how cocky he was, like, I got this motherfucker. And he's like, you ain't slick.
Like, you thought so, didn't you?
You see, I'm choking out a fucking literal god here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like so the the cartoonish versions of the Flash have all kinds of issues, mainly just impulse control. They're absolutely impetuous. They're flighty. And it's because no one else can keep up with them. So it's ADHD on a stick.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get it, but like I said, it generally, I know. I mean, I don't watch the live action Flash show. I hear that's like one of the best ones of the CW stuff.
It's too serious for that character, though. That's what my problem with it is, because that character has always been kind of silly.
I watched a couple episodes and it's enjoyable, but I've never.
I
never
gave up
sat
after
on
season 3 because I was just sick of the villain always being another speedster.
There we go. Yeah.
Also, yeah. So that's
everybody's a flipping speedster.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not going fast,
that's all they could come up with. I was like, you know what?
Well, it's just like, look at Superman's entire run. Everything's either magic or kryptonite, which is why I hate to say it, but like my favorite Superman comic is The Death of Superman, because the guy didn't need magic or kryptonite, literally just beat him to death.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's kind of what you need to see. You need to see some actual vulnerability to get just punched in the face. When nothing's a threat, then you're not interesting.
Yeah, there's no stakes. There's
it's always just like Lois, Jimmy.
Yeah,
people I know are getting hurt. Not like, oh no, me,
Perry.
Which one of
Mom?
my which one of my dependents is screaming out my name now?
Yeah.
Which one of the squishy ones that I love is about to be crushed? So it's
but
that's why I've always found him a boring character.
Well, but the thing about the movie is like the Barry at the beginning of the movie is still that goofy, kind of feeling unappreciated type because they keep on giving him the shit. Justice League keeps on giving him the shit jobs.
He's the cleanup.
He's the cleanup crew.
It's like 1 second for you. It's 2 hours of work for.
But like over the course of the movie, because he's dealing with that young version of himself, you see him grow up.
Yeah.
He becomes like an adult by the end of the movie, and I'm like, okay, now that's really cool. You don't see that happening in a lot of these types of movies
because he realizes how annoying he is to others.
Yeah, he even says to him, he's like, "You don't shut up," and he's like, "I know it's kind of a problem, but
it's kind of the thing I do." Now you get it, yeah. So I really appreciated all that stuff.
It was really well written. It was really well acted. I mean, it sucks that the person playing the character is a shitheel.
Yeah.
Because they are really good as that character, and we're never going to see them again, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, that really does suck. My only complaint of the actual movie, not like about the actors or anything, is like the baby scene.
Yeah. There's some goofy CGI in it. It looks like they were like really exceeding their grasp with the budget. Like they wanted to do so much and they didn't have the budget for it. But they're like, yeah, we'll just get some sketchy CGI artists to do some stuff for us real quick. It's okay.
And a lot of it, like I even saw an article that said that a lot of that's on purpose because stuff looks distorted when it.
Yeah, the stuff in the Speed Force, the director actually said that the Speed Force looks intentionally fake because it's supposed to be like a half-remembered memory.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, like, looks cartoony.
When he's in the Chrono Ball and all that stuff, and it starts looking like a PS2 game, I'm like, that's cool. He's just in VR.
Yeah.
But it didn't actually bug me. I was like, honestly, this looks pretty cool.
Some of the deep fake stuff in it is like really heinous.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but there's some cameos that I wasn't privy to.
Yeah.
That I just jokingly said to my wife, and it ended up being who I was joking that it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit.
And it's even a joke that has to do with Kevin Smith.
Yeah, there's some really cool Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Some really cool
things
show up.
There's times when the two flashes are on screen at the same time, and you could tell that they rushed the deep fake for the second person because there was a stand-in for Ezra Miller a lot of those times, and the deep fake they put on their face did not look right.
Why? He's fast enough that he could play both parts at one time. Like, I get it.
But like the lips didn't look right. It looked really cartoony. And like there's sometimes where it's not even noticeable, where it's a deep fake, but you can't tell. But other times it looked like they just like threw it on there with like Mario paint.
Yeah, some stuff was a little rough, but like as far as the actual story,
the
way they was a lot better structure than most of the DC movies. So
really character oriented compared to most comic book movies.
I'd say I really liked the Snyder cut of the Justice League, but I don't know. Aside from that, I don't think there's a better DCU movie. as far as I'm concerned, since Man of Steel or whatever, because I think Man of Steel started it. But yeah, I was really feeling it, so that's cool, and I'm glad that I looked forward to it. And Michael Keaton being in it was the whole reason I was excited. I didn't care. I mean, you know how antsy I was getting.
He fucking owns that shit.
And you know how antsy I was getting after they canceled the Batwoman movie. I was just like, fucking hurry up, put out Flash. I don't care. I don't care if he killed someone. Put out Flash fast. I need to see Michael Keaton as Batman again. So I did. I just needed to get this action figure. So I just needed Todd McFarlane to have an excuse to make a Michael Keaton Batman, and he did. Okay.
So, like, me and my dad used to have conversations about certain comic book characters being portrayed in movies and stuff, and that your Michael Keaton thing brought that memory back, and it was, people were like, Michael Keaton, oh man, he's a terrible Bruce Wayne, and my dad was just like, of course he's a terrible Bruce Wayne.
He's a fake person.
Batman is a terrible Bruce Wayne in the comics.
well, basically, the thing is, like, the general consensus is that Batman is who he is, and Bruce Wayne is the character he's putting on.
Yeah, he's the face.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta pretend I'm a people.
So that meant that Michael Keaton was doing his job properly.
Exactly.
You think I want to be socializing right now?
That's him. That's him trying to be social and be accepting and shit like that. And he's none of those things. And normal.
I literally want to just be lurking in a cave. Can we get this over with?
Yeah, basically. That's where we punch.
That's why us nerds love Batman so much. We're like, we identify. I also don't want to be doing the social shit. I want to be just.
I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert.
Yeah, I want to be in my cave brooding about stuff.
And like the same argument came up with Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire, and my dad was like, no, Tobey Maguire was hired to play Peter Parker, and we get to watch Peter Parker transform into Spider-Man eventually over time.
Very true. Yeah.
And like it's just nailed it completely. And
where I thought, like,
I loved that innovation in those films.
Because I like how Toby played the nerdy version of Peter perfectly. And some of his stuff was obviously he just trying to pay homage to the fucking comics with things he'd say, his quips when he's Spider-Man, calling him Gobby is the most standout thing in that whole movie in the first one. I got you now, whatever he says, something, Gobby. And I'm like, oh.
Gabagool.
Like calling him, yeah, I'm like, I get it. It's from the comic. I should be like, but I'm like, that doesn't work in real life. That works about as much in live action as Banshee does. You're like, oh, yeah, that's not a cool thing.
They scream.
No. If it's not played by Rob Halford, I don't believe it. But
no, the dude from oh god, what's that band from Clerks 2? Crimson, King Crimson.
Oh man.
Or it could be worse. Could be King Diamond.
That's it, King Diamond. That's it. That's what they're making fun of in Clerks 2.
King Diamond's is very hard to take serious.
Yeah, the Flash really surprised me. I was surprised, and I saw it in 4D. So I now have a spinal injury. Because whenever he would run, it was like they would do like the build up to it, like he would always like so the chair would start to like lean back real slowly as he was doing that, and the moment he would run, you would get thrown forward.
It would just give you
fucking
whiplash. It would just give you whiplash.
Yeah, basically.
Everyone coming up with.
It was rough. Like me and my buddy Jeremiah that I do the other podcast with, we went and saw it together, and like he had never seen a movie in 4D before, and I was just like, "Be prepared, bring some painkillers." And he's like, "All right." And then when it was over, he was like walking out. He's just like, "That was cool, but Jesus!"
Is it called 4D because it's supposed to feel like I got beat up by 4 dudes while I was watching the movie?
I don't think that would fly. Like, holy crap! I don't have a 4D movie theater like near me, not that I know of.
It's awesome. It makes it super immersive. Like, especially when I saw Top Gun Maverick, I felt like I was in a plane.
I hope you didn't go see John Wick 4 in that.
No, I did not, because I would have rolled down those steps for 14 goddamn times.
Everyone would have just been pulled out on a gurney.
Yeah. No, I saw Guardians there. I saw Transformers, Rise of the Beast there, which we'll be talking about next. But yeah, Top Gun was probably the best one so far because it actually made me feel like I was like in a plane. They even shot you in the face with water when they would do the takeoff off of the aircraft carriers.
Sweet. Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. Like I was thinking it was probably going to be a pretty cool movie, but it was cool in ways other than Michael Keaton, so that was good.
So, it worked.
Yeah, I was there for the Keaton, and
I knew they were going to change stuff from what was really in Flashpoint originally.
No,
like with the whole Batman being Bruce Wayne or Bruce Wayne's dad, and Joker being Bruce Wayne's mom.
Oh yeah, well,
and all that, but
yeah,
the changes that they made I thought were cool. Like instead of Superman being like they find Superman all withered away, it was Supergirl.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I like when they do stuff different. Like I said, if I wanted to see
I just read the
comic version, I'd read the comic, or I'd watch the animated movie they probably made of it.
Yeah,
which they've done. Already with
which is fine.
So that's cool. Transformers. We love our Transformers, and I actually really love this movie.
So did I.
Especially after the not Bumblebee, the last one named Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it so much more than that. It's pretty bad when
I've had bowel movements that are better than that movie.
It's probably pretty bad when I actually that's the only one I haven't seen in the theater, and I own it. And I wouldn't own it if I had seen it in the theater. It would have been like The Predator, where the only reason I own The Predator on Blu-ray is that they put out a Predator box set. And I was like, basically, I'll just say this was what the tax was, and I actually paid for the good ones.
only reason I bought it was because when I saw last night in the theater, I saw it in 3D, and it was some of the best 3D I'd ever seen at that point. And the only reason I wanted to buy it was so I could show it off to people to say like 3D works at home too.
Yeah,
this is what it looks like. Don't worry about the movie.
Yeah.
Just look at the 3D because the 3D is amazing. And they'd be like, I made my brother watch it in the VR headset, the PSVR headset, and he was just like, "What's going on in this movie?" I'm like, I don't know. He's like, "But the 3D is fucking amazing."
And you would just kick him in the balls periodically. He's like, "Is this a 4D headset?"
No,
it gives you the same feeling of watching the movie it gives you when you're a fan of Transformers.
No, but Rise of the Beast is the closest we're ever going to get to a live action version of the '86 movie.
Yeah, and aside from the stuff you kind of expect, like the really tropey sacrifice stuff, the really stuff like that, where you go on, you saved me, kind of stuff that makes you roll your eyes in every kind of movie like that. They flip the script a little bit more than what they have done in the past. Transformers movies, the mech suit part, my wife kind of got mad,
really?
and I had to be like,
it's from the movie.
They do that. It was like, remember Spike?
It's from the movie.
It's kind of like that. And she's like, "Oh, she's like, yeah, okay, yeah." I was like, I'm not saying I like it, but they've done it before. So
it's canon.
It wasn't like the G.I. Joe movie.
Oh God!
When they did it. When I was like, is this trying to be the Halo movie? What is this?
Yeah.
But,
no, it's the Sigma 6 suits.
But like the thing I think that I liked the most was for the once like the human characters like were actually likable and not annoying.
Yeah, they weren't.
They felt real and they are actually developed, and you gave a shit if they were to live or die.
Yeah, it wasn't just like please step on them and then just robots fight for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. I'm not watching. I didn't buy a ticket to people. I don't care about people at all. Get out of the way. They didn't stow away. They didn't, there's always just like some bullshit reason that the people have to be there. I mean, it was like a little bit bullshit. Like, we can't fit in there. We need a people to go in.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, that's, that's fine.
There is a proper place for people in Transformers. They're called Target Masters, Power Masters, and Headmasters.
Headmasters.
Yeah. That's what I was telling my wife about. I was like, they belong there a little bit, but yeah, like how they have in the animated series, they've always got like the group of kids that hang out all the time. You're like, you don't need to be there. Why are you there?
But the characters were likable. That was a plus.
And
no freaking Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
No Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I thought I was gonna have a problem with Pete Davidson being Mirage, but he ended up being pretty likable too.
He was my favorite of the Transformers that wasn't Optimus Prime.
Yeah, and the weird thing about Optimus in this one is Optimus is kind of an ass for a little while.
Yeah, it shows that he's not
He's not perfect.
Doesn't make perfect decisions. So, and
that made it more interesting because for all the other movies, it's just Optimus is just Mr. Good Guy,
and also
all the way through. And here's just like fuck humans.
And also without, well, we got to save Cybertron. Like he was actually like on the. Usually he's like, oh, it kind of sucks, but I guess Cybertron has to go away. You know, that's usually what he does. But he's like, no, Cybertron matters a bit. I'm gonna keep my stance on that. But without, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen it. But he didn't even get his Optimus Prime moment that he always gets. Someone else got that. Yeah, and I was like, what?
Yeah, there's lines. There's lines from the animated movie thrown in there all over the place.
Yeah, it was very well done for the most part. There's only a couple parts I was like, come on.
Yeah,
but there were very few. It wasn't like the whole movie like, what is going on? Like last night. So
yeah, last night the whole movie's like, huh? Anthony Hopkins signed up for this?
The last night it's like they had 6 different ideas, but they didn't feel like fleshing them all out, so they just were like,
yeah. Like, the thing I didn't like about like the last couple of them was not Bumblebee. Bumblebee was cool.
The first 3 minutes of Bumblebee was cooler than all the other movies combined.
They kept retconning themselves.
Where they're all on Cybertron. I was just like,
well, it was like in the 4th one, they were like, oh, they show these organic beings. We're the Quintessons. We seeded all the planets. And then in the 5th movie, they're like, no, it's just one, and they're a robot.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why did you bother setting that up if you're not going to follow through with it? Oh, and by the way, Earth is Unicron. No, it in the last night. It's like, what?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't remember the last night. I'll just
they keep on doing that whole like Earth is Unicron. What? What?
Well, one of the animated series does that too. I think it's I think it's from the Energon or Cybertron. I think it's one of those ones where they did the Armada, Energon, and Cybertron series. I think one of them he's in that, where he's like a primal. I don't know. He's like, I can't remember how they did it. I just remember thinking it was dumb. So I guess that's how I like Transformers so much, is when something's really dumb, I just forget it. Like I don't remember the last night, and I don't remember exactly how because I remember seeing a toy of Unicron, and he looked like he was made out of rocks. And I was like, "What the fuck? That ain't Unicron."
Yeah, Unicron isn't one of those. And
then I had to I researched. Like, I don't think I watched all of those series. I have watched a bunch, but I couldn't really get into
robots and a couple of others. Yeah. I never could get into Beast Wars, unfortunately.
Yeah, I couldn't either. But that was the only thing I was worried about when it came to this movie, was that it was going to be partially Beast Wars related. But they're actually pretty cool in the movie.
In the movie they're really great.
Not like that cartoon that was on Netflix. I did not like any of them in that.
No, that they ruined. They had the first 2 seasons were great, and then the 3rd one was kind of ruined by them trying to cram it in there. It was like, just make a Beast Wars standalone one.
Yeah, I don't need to cram in here. They ruined that show,
and they also ruined the toys, because then they started putting out 2-packs where I wanted the vehicle one and not the animal one, because I don't collect Beast Wars stuff. All my stuff is
G1.
Planes, tanks, all like this shit that's cool. I'm not just gonna have a random cheetah on a fucking whole shelf of Ferraris and shit. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, they ended up being pretty rad in the movie.
I'm gonna say I watched those shows when I was a kid, but I have never had an inkling to want to own any of them, except for maybe the T-Rex Megatron. But you know how I did with that. I was like, it's here, it's getting cheaper. I was like, I'm not buying it, because that's just gonna make me go, well, I should have some, like, just the main 5 on both sides. And all of a sudden I'm like, I guess I collect these shits now. Like, I don't got room for that. So that's how I talked myself out of it. But
do you really need a Transformer with a T-Rex head for a hand?
Yep. Yep, but I convinced myself no, but yeah. The closest thing to a Beast Wars Transformer I have is
Dinobots.
Trypticon.
Oh.
Yeah. But that's not even close. That's not even close. He's the giant T-Rex with rocket launcher shoulder pads. But,
I guess the one thing about the movie is I wish there were more of the Beast characters in it, because they kind of like show up at the halfway point.
And then some of them don't really see until the end battle. They're like, what was he doing the whole time?
Yeah, where's the Rhino one? Where's he been the whole time?
So Rhinox got fucking locked in a closet somewhere or something.
He was hiding in a cave. He's like, I'm scared. Don't want to go out there. I'm scared.
Yeah, so I like Beast Wars was like one of those shows I watched, but I wouldn't say I was a fan of it. It's kind of like Power Rangers was just kind of on when I got home from school, so I watched Power Rangers, but I was never a fan of Power Rangers.
No.
At all.
That was at that point in time when like Power Rangers and Beast Wars was on, was like when I was completely disinterested in all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, that's too kiddie. I'm not doing that shit.
I couldn't, like, all the power to anyone who likes it. I just wasn't. And then speaking of things we watched, I watched that reunion thing they did with like a bunch of the original ones. And I was like I'm still watching a 90s episode, but it somehow got worse. Like the effect. Well, I can't remember, what's it called? Like Rangers Forever or something like that.
Oh, the one on Netflix?
Yeah, I watched it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I said,
bother.
I've never been a fan of Power Rangers.
I saw the movie in the theater, and that was as far as I went with me. I never watched the show, but I went and saw the movie because I thought it looked kind of cool.
I remember liking the movie all right because I think I went with friends. That's probably why. But yeah, I watched the thing, and they got like a flying VW Beetle car, and I'm like, why? Why do they need to fly? They when they're Power Rangers, they can jump the 18 stories in the air to get on to the Zords anyway. So what's it matter? Because they always just go like Mario, and then you see the little figure go bang,
just like that.
They just go and then they land on top of it. And you're like, why are they never doing this jump any other time?
I saw the new movie.
We're in the one,
the remake, the reboot, or whatever you want to call it.
I own it, but I've never watched
it. It's actually not too bad.
I
Surprisingly, it's not too bad.
I think I got it like really cheap, really close to when it came out.
My mom bought a copy of it on Blu-ray, and then was like, I don't know why I bought this. You can take it. I'm like, all right.
That's just your mom low key trying to give you gifts and hoping you like them. If you don't like it, don't worry about it.
She buys movies sight unseen all the time. She'll go to like Walmart and be like, "Oh, that's out. I'm buying it," and then she'll still never watch it. I don't know how to work this Blu-ray thing.
She's a sealed collector. She's a sealed collector. Like she's got a whole.
Yeah.
You got like your movie collection, but none of them are opened.
Yeah, she just bought Shazam too. I'm like, "You gonna watch it?" She's like, "Probably not." I'm like, "Then why'd you buy it?"
She's like, "There might be a Jason Momoa cameo."
Basically. Yeah, I don't know if Moandain knows my mom's fixation with Jason Momoa.
That's my favorite thing.
Is she
his wife? I told his wife, and his wife's like, "I want to meet your mom."
Yeah.
She's obsessed with Momoa. So I remember we went to dinner one night when Aquaman had just come out, and she's like, "Let's go see Aquaman after dinner." I'm like, "No." She's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "I'm not seeing that movie with you. I'm just not."
Oh.
And she's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Because I know you. I know the way you are. I'm not going to sit there and have you moaning in my ear whenever he's on screen." And she's like, "No, I am not going to do that. I promise." I'm like, "You're full of shit. We are not going to see Aquaman." But guess what? We ended up seeing Aquaman.
Okay.
So we're sitting in the theater. We're in the back row. I made her sit in the final row, the back row. But two older dudes were sitting maybe like 5 seats away from us on our left, right? And every single time this bitch is on screen with his shirt off, she's like, "God damn, shit, God damn, he can leave his shoes under my bed anytime." And these two guys, I keep seeing it out of my peripherals, these two guys leaning forward, looking at my mom, and I'm sitting there going, "No, she's not having a stroke."
Sounds like James Brown Jr.'s over there.
And just the whole, I'm like, "Will you shut up?" She's like, "But he's so good. He's fine."
Is she such a fan that she'll go back and watch the old Stargate Atlantis episodes?
No, because he wasn't fine yet, because he wasn't heavily muscled.
Oh, he wasn't. So she doesn't watch Baywatch Hawaii.
But
or whatever
the thing is, she does not give a shit about any of the Fast and the Furious movies. And then when I went over there last weekend, she goes, "So how was that new Fast and Furious movie?" And I was like, "I'm not going to see it with you."
Because all I hear is,
"Is he in it?" I'm like, "Is he in it?" Is he had that shirt on? I'm like, I don't remember. I don't recall if he was wearing a shirt at all. I'm like, I'm not telling you if he didn't. I'm like, "You're going to go see it by your damn self?"
Wow.
You and your girlfriends can sit over there and get moist watching this shit. Like, because I will not be there for the tsunami. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh God.
That's great.
Good day, sir. There's no way in hell. And then she's like, Aquaman comes out at the end of the year, right? I'm like, yes, he does. I'm not going to see that at all. I'm like,
We don't need to.
like,
I don't
you
need,
have a theater right around the corner from you. Go see it by your damn self.
I don't need the 4D experience in the
Yeah.
regular theater.
It's like, is that water dripping on me? No, it's just me, honey.
The tidal wave. Oh my God! I felt the tidal wave.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus.
No, thank you. I'm good. No. Bye-bye. So anyway, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
No more Transformers.
It took quite a while. That's super sweet to me.
You have no idea how many times I've passed that up on Redbubble and be like, I must have that. I'll buy it eventually.
My friend Sinchatus gave it to me because he went to what's the music gaming festival one? Oh dang it! I've forgotten the name.
To the monster one?
Now hold on, I've got like a cowbell from it.
You know what this podcast needs? More cowbell.
Oh, I broke my cowbell. Magfest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
A dusty cowbell.
What a random thing to hand out at a con. Memorable.
Was it in a pasture?
I don't know. I didn't go. My friend went, and he got me the shirt and the cowbell.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, what? What were your thoughts on the first episode of Secret Wars?
It was a little slow.
Yeah.
It took a while to get going, but once it did, and then it had that moment toward the end where they're gonna this character has been in all these things before, and they've never really done any developing of the character at all, and then they have a little moment of character development, and then they die.
Yeah.
And I was like, when the moment it started, I was just like, they're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
The moment it started, I was like, well, they're doing that, so yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like some Honored Harrington stuff.
They're trying to make me care.
Yeah.
Why?
It's like the moment they decide to show up to
Why?
tell you some backstory, I'm like, they're dead.
Yeah. Why? Why are you doing this? Because in the comic, important character, and they're part of a lot of the stuff in the shows, but they don't really do anything that you go, oh wow, that's a cool character until this episode. Yeah, slow start. I know it's going to be completely different than the comics, so I'm not even going to try to hold it up to the comics, because one of the biggest things in the comic, the biggest twists, that character has not even been near revealed or in the MCU in any way. So that kind of sucks, especially for my wife, because that's her favorite character. So she's like, how are they going to do that without? I'm like, badly.
Badly. Just call them out on it right there.
Well, this is Secret Wars, and then there's Secret Wars.
Invasion. Oh, sorry, this is Secret Invasion.
Yeah, you got Secret Wars. Secret Invasion is what we were talking about. Yeah. Secret
Wars.
Wars.
I called it. I keep on. That's my thing. I keep on getting confused. I keep on calling it Secret Wars. It's Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Secret Invasion in the comics. Spider-Woman is revealed to have been a Skrull for
years,
a long ass time, probably 5 years before that, and they're deep seated in the.
It's like the Hydra thing.
So it's like the Thing almost, where you're like, who? You might be one of them. You might be. You can't trust anybody.
Cold War paranoia.
And I kind of liked that in the first scene with that one guy. You're like, yeah, I got the Thing vibes from that. But I'm hoping that it ends up being cool. I mean, obviously they can't have it the same twist, because then anyone who knows the story is going to be like, eh.
Yeah.
Bored? Yeah.
But I think the reason they're taking their time is because Sam Jackson, Nick Fury hasn't been in one of these movies for the longest time.
Yeah.
The last one he was in was freaking Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
I think that was the last time we saw him.
Yeah, because
I don't even think he showed up
was after Infinity War, yeah.
Yeah. So it's they're just trying to catch you up with what's been up with him since that. Since Endgame.
Far From Home. He was in Far From Home.
Is he?
But yeah. Far From Home was after. I'm just trying to think of when shit came out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, bitch, you've been in space. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was the last one he was really in. So
Yeah. So yeah, I think they're just trying to catch you up, but I mean, they did a decent job, I think, of setting up the situation, but I think they just should have rushed things along a little bit more.
yeah, I mean, they developed it now. Maybe action more.
Now
in
it's
the
gonna
second.
let loose. So
After-
I think it's only like 6 episodes. So
Yeah, so hopefully they don't piss it away. And then the last episode, you're like, oh, this is gonna have to be like an hour and a half. Like Moon Knight. This is gonna have to be like an hour and a half episode.
we're gonna cram all that stuff in one episode
to tie up all these loose ends, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it was the shortest episode of the season. 30 minutes. Okay, yeah. So I'm hoping they do good because I like Nick Fury as a character, and
I like Sam Jackson playing him.
Skrulls
I like Ben Mendelsohn as Talos.
Yes, Secret Invasion was one of the coolest, more modern arcs that they had that involved everything. For a while there, it seemed like every summer they had to do with in the comics where it was an all-encompassing. Every book has to do with, they had the Civil War. Then I think Secret Invasion was after that, and I'm like I said, I'm always up for them doing it differently in the movie because if I wanted the story, I already know. Like, as if you've read the comics, you know how it's going to end. You know, Spider-Woman's going to be the Skrull Queen,
and they haven't even introduced that character yet.
So yeah, so obviously they're going to do it different. And then Secret Wars, you're like, how are they going to do Secret Wars when half their main roster is like retiring because they've refused to recast? Whereas like all the big movies where like the X-Men and the Avengers were all like mixed together. You're like, you can't do that now. That sucks. So it's like one or the other. We've had all the Avengers, now we're gonna have the X-Men. You're like, no, I needed them together. So I don't know. Hopefully they change their mind and recasts and heroes and bring them back. I don't care. Use their multiverse excuse or some shit. Mm-hmm. So why is Iron Man like different? Just shut the fuck up. You got Iron Man again. Just be happy.
You got Ironheart.
Like
be happy.
Yeah. So
yeah, they look like Eve from WALL-E, but whatever.
Yeah, like I don't need the next generation of a character when you could just do a recast and keep that character because like
have Tom Cruise come in and play.
We've talked about this to exhaustion.
Tony Stark like he was supposed to in the 90s.
We've talked about this to exhaustion about how recasting would be a lot easier and I don't know, little nitpicks about things that would be easy. It would be hard to swallow. But, like, I don't need the next generation characters when you can just have Iron Man. Like, that'd be like if you use the MCU, like, ideals. Like, you'd be like, oh, remember that 10 issues of Iron Man that ever came out? And then he died? And then that's it? Yeah, that's basically what they act like it would happen in the movies. There's a reason he's been around for 60 years. He's a much loved character. You could keep it going. He doesn't need to die. Just like all the old superhero movies, like, oh, his main villain doesn't need to die at the end of the movie. You can leave it open for more movies to come out where he can fight him again or whatnot. That's why I was so happy about the MCU is like the potential for stuff to keep going rather than, oh, he died. He doesn't kill anyone, but somehow they die. So is what it is. What that Craven trailer? What do you guys think of that? More superhero-less superhero movie villain stories.
MSP. Marvel side piece.
Oh wow!
I'm kind of bummed.
I just think it's completely unnecessary. It's just Sony trying to like, we can't make a full-on Spider-Man movie with Peter Parker. We'll make everything but.
Just do it. You don't need to exhaust the origin stories of these guys.
Yeah, just because you couldn't make your Sinister Six movie with Andrew Garfield doesn't mean you have to like give them each a separate movie.
You don't need to ruin them for everything else. It's like very toxic way of thinking of things. Like, oh, we can't have Spider-Man. Well, you can't have Morbius because he's wrecked now.
I'm gonna ruin Morbin time.
If I can't have him, no one can. So, well, I don't know.
I mean, why? I think someone in a boardroom somewhere decided that, hey, maybe people who are playing Spider-Man 2, the video game, don't know who Craven is.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's kind of a poor excuse, but okay.
Like I said, to be fair, the trailer looks good. It looks like a good movie. They're bringing in another Spider-Man villain also in the trailer. I wasn't even going to watch the trailer, but I was watching something on YouTube and the trailer played in the ads. So I was like, guess I'm watching this now. And so they're introducing the Rhino also in this movie. I believe the Rhino is the villain for Kraven to fight in this movie.
Sure,
Okay.
why not?
Villain in fighting the movie. But I think the biggest thing about a villain origin story is when they set up their feud with the hero. That's what makes them good.
But that's the problem, is they don't have the
Nemesis.
rights to the hero anymore.
Well, they do, but they rent him out.
Yeah.
Because that's the shitty thing. Just work together. Come on, guys. Play nice in the sandbox.
Well, we might
Like,
get Tom Hardy in the Marvel Universe now. We don't know.
Like I said, I liked the Venom movie, the first one. I thought it was pretty good, despite the fact that I hated the fact that Venom has his origin story without Spider-Man, which is like one of the key components. Like, as much as I say I like when they do things a bit differently, that's too different. The
Yeah,
coolest
because
thing,
it's a fundamental change.
yeah, the coolest thing about Venom as a Spider-Man villain, like they skipped a whole arc. They went right to Lethal Protector, and he was never a villain. So he's the hero already. So you're not going to believe him as a villain unless, I don't know how they're going
And
to.
why
do
does he
that.
kind of resemble Spider-Man to begin with if he wasn't mimicking the suit?
Yeah, exactly. The fact that, yeah, like the suit hates Peter because Peter rejects it, and Eddie hates Peter because he got him fired, just blames him for a bunch of shit, steals his girl, whatever version of it is. So you get rid of that, and you're like, why does Venom hate Spider-Man? Because he's on TV. Like, that's what the setup of the end of Let There Be
No Way
Carnage
Home.
was. Hey, that guy's on TV. Okay.
The hell with him.
So, well, man, too bad you like didn't warp to this universe and like the Kardashians was on. He's like, I'm gonna wipe them out. I'm like, oh,
Do
what
it.
What a setup.
Here's the red carpet.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. I'd watch a movie, Venom Purges the Red Carpet. But
I don't know, it just seems unnecessary. Like, I don't even see the point of these things anymore.
yeah, like I said, it actually looks like a decent movie on its own. But like I said, I enjoyed the Venom movie for what it was, but I hated it at that exact same time for that reason. Because if they're gonna set up, I don't want the, as much as I like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Venom, I don't want that Venom to be fighting Spider-Man. Unless they do their own version of Spider-Man. That's not Tom. Like, that would kind of ruin the hype for me. That's just me, though. But yeah, I'm looking forward to more Secret Wars.
There's Secret Invasion. We both keep doing it.
Secret Invasion. You got Secret Wars on the screen, and I know
know
the difference, but I'm saying it wrong because it's on the screen.
Because I'm stupid.
Should we go into pickups?
Sure.
We've got a lot of pickups to show. So, Moandain,
Oh God.
as our guest, you gotta.
I have to go first? Okay. Let's see. So I
You got
didn't
the-
like pull them all together, but I got a bunch of trade bait to take to Siege with me. It's kind of something I always do, is I try to find cheap games, and I found like 20 games today. Well, about 17 games really. Like, once I found out which ones worked and didn't work, for like 25 cents a piece, and I'm probably going to get like maybe close to $70 worth of trade out of them. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I watched you do it.
Yeah, you did. That was the biggest trade I've ever done.
That big ass bucket.
Huge tote at MGC.
Dirt for the Xbox 360, Terraria. Yeah, I actually have a few of them with me. Like Terraria, Dirt. These are like 25 cents a piece. Those are some of the ones I kept. R-Type Final 3, because someone told me about it.
You're welcome.
And now to return the favor, Drainus. This is on Switch.
We're talking about the anuses tonight.
Ooh.
Yes.
Quit fantasizing. Um, this is actually a really fun shmup. It is short, but it has replayability because once you beat it the first time, you go back and beat it a second time instantly to like get the rest of the story, because there's elements of time travel and Chrono Trigger on top of a shmup, and you're like buying powers with some of the stuff, like the gems that you collect, but you have to slot those powers into power slots, and when you power up, you get that particular power, so you can change the order things occur in as well. And it's really well done. It's done by Strictly Limited Games, so unfortunately, it's kind of difficult to get your hands on. I got Gal Guardians because it's Igavania, and damn it, I need my Igavanias.
I've been seeing a couple of people picking that up lately. A friend Church got it.
What Vania?
Metroidvania.
Oh, okay.
I thought you said something else for a second.
It's Iga or whatever.
Yeah.
What's the guy's? I've forgotten it.
The guy who made Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, basically.
And Bloodstained.
This because it's just something that I grew up with as a kid, and I absolutely love it. However, I wish I could find like an Arkanoid rotary controller for the PlayStation 5. That would make things so much better.
I'm gonna call up Mad Cats.
Oh my no! Because I want my PS5 to continue working.
It'll be it'll
We can
Cyberpunk
cobble one
2077
together
to
with all
PS5.
those guitar controllers that are in that dump.
And then I picked up this recently, the Chocobo racing game. Yeah, because Square Enix fixed it. They basically stripped out all of the microtransactions and shoved everything onto the game for free, because they suddenly realized that all of the microtransactions that they tagged onto this thing drug it into the dirt. And
As they
they basically came out and said, "We're sorry, this sucks. We're very sorry about it. We fixed it all."
Now buy 12 million copies or you'll never get another game.
Okay, Days Gone.
They've famously done that. They were like, everyone needs to buy this Dragon Quest, or we're never bringing another Dragon Quest over.
Yeah, they actually did an advertisement like that once. Honestly, I'm willing to call their bluff if they're going to give us like another Einhander.
Yeah.
You know, give me Zweihander.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
please.
Gesundheit.
Also picked up a Gully kit, which is the no drift thumbsticks for the Switch, and wow, they're amazing. My granddaughter's Switch had drift all over the place because she's
Kids play with
10.
it?
Because kids played with it, and she's 10 years old and plays Minecraft for hours and hours and hours on end, and it was just like, okay, you've worn these things out, and she's like, yeah, fix them. Okay, I realize that you think that I am the magic man that can fix everything, but let's try. And I picked up 2 sets of the thumbsticks, one set for me and another set for her, and they're amazing. They are definitely worth it. Holophix sensors are great. Also picked up a PS3 Slim system at a pawn shop because $35 for it was too good of a deal.
Yes, that is really good.
The second model? The Model 2?
Yeah, the Model 2.
Yeah, that's what I have now.
Yeah, I've had people give me those and say they don't work, and then you fire it up and you're like, did you try turning it on?
Yeah.
Maybe it just needed to sit. I don't know, but it works fine.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
My most popular video on YouTube is actually like me teaching people how to take the optical drive apart and reinstall it back into the system, because you would think that's like, oh, it's just this big silver box and I just pop the cable out from underneath, and then when I'm done, I'm going to pop the cable back. There's not enough room for your hand.
Yeah.
So you have to like literally like reassemble the optical drive on top of the system while it's the ribbon is like plugged in properly. It's very weird, and almost no one figures it out until you just have to sit there and think about, well, how in the hell did they do this in the factory? 'Cause
Yeah.
you
Robots!
know someone did this.
Robots.
and like I figured it out, thankfully, because I mean I used to be an old Dell field service technician, and that was part of my job.
Dude, you're a
And-
Dell.
Oh God, no. I hate that kid. That and the
I was
I'm
that kid though.
I'm a
I got-
PC. I'm a Mac. Oh,
Oh, that was the worst. Justin Long can still fuck off because of that.
That meme that showed that I'm the PC, I'm a Dell, and then there was Leonardo DiCaprio walking down the street like this, and it goes, I don't give a fuck.
I remember that one. That was good.
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, like I've got a handful of other pickups, but you know, nothing like really big.
Sweet. Crass?
Oh, so I talked about this in the our thread on Discord
Yeah.
that I bought a bunch of minis from WizKids for my D&D game, and they shafted me on this extra. It was like a if you bought miniatures between these two dates, you would get like a free figure.
Yeah, I bought a
And
few things.
they never sent me that figure. And I like emailed them a couple times saying like, hey, you guys forgot to send me this thing that was supposed to be in my order. Can you guys send it, regardless? And the first time they were like, yeah, we're sorry. And then it never came. And I emailed again and never got a response. And then I fucking threw them under the bus on Twitter. And I was like, do you people read your goddamn emails? I'm like, I'm never buying anything from you guys again because you shafted me on this freaking thing. And then like 2.5 months later, I got two random emails, and one was like an apology. Oh, we saw your Twitter post. We're sending you the thing. And then the next email was the tracking number. And you know what it ended up being?
What?
Because it showed up today.
Ooh, is that
Are you
Wolverine?
kidding me? It's a plexi.
Ooh.
It's a plexi. It's a Yeti.
Oh. I
But
thought it was
instead of being a
Wolverine for
figure
second.
like it was supposed to be, it's like a little plexiglass picture on this. And I hate these damn things.
They sent you a screenshot.
Yeah, basically. They 3D printed me this little bullshit. So I was kind of like, yep, still not buying anything from them because this is bullshit. This is crap.
Well,
I was expecting a full-on fig.
Sit him on the table behind you. Then at least he can be background fodder. There you go. Yay!
Look, it's doing something.
Semi-useful. Everyone's gonna think it's Wolverine because that looks like Wolverine to me.
It's more like
And that's like a classic Wolverine pose too. And it looks like he's got the mask. So
This is a real figure.
yeah, no shit. I should have brought my little owl bear that I got.
ooh, Headless Horseman.
Yep.
Is that from Darksiders?
No, this is actually from an old
That's
war
what it
game
was,
that
man.
I played.
Was it the Headless Horseman? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
this is
Ichabod.
it's called Warlord. It's done by
Yeah, I've heard of
Reaper Miniatures. I actually got to meet Ed Pugh, who's the guy who owns the place. This is actually my paint job.
That's pretty sweet. That's a
Yeah,
good
so
paint
you keep
job.
on showing off your paint jobs on
I like
on
I like the
YouTube.
fire on the feet, especially.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It really
And-
looks like translucent almost.
and the
pumpkin.
green flame, like
In
undead
the
or
pumpkin,
weird
yeah.
magic in the pumpkin. Yeah,
Necromagic. Yeah,
of course. Yeah, I
Sweet.
played the undead army, so yeah.
that's pretty sick.
Yep, full spectrum nerd.
You gotta.
For like movies, I got these Blu-ray sets of Jackie Chan movies, and
Old school ones.
yeah, it's like the first set is 1976 to 1982. The second one is 83 to 93. I'm more
Nice.
familiar with the later ones than the early ones, but this one has
Well, those are the ones that some of them actually came over here, aren't they?
yeah. So this one has like the new, oh god, the Killer Meteor. It is in such a small font. The Killer Meteors, Shaolin Wooden Men, To Kill with Intrigue, Snake and Crane Arts of Shaolin, Dragon Fire, Rattle Creek Brawl. That's the one that came out over here as
Rumble in the Bronx.
no, the Big Brawl,
Oh.
and then Dragon Lord, and then this one has the ones I know on it. It's Winners and Sinners, Wheels on Meals, The Protector, Twinkle Twinkle, Lucky Stars, Armor of God 1 and 2, Crime Story, and City Hunter, which is the one with the Street Fighter 2 scene in it where
he's trying
Jackie
to-
Chan's dressed like Chun-Li.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm more familiar with those newer ones too. I've heard of a couple of those.
The moment those
Armor of
showed up
God.
in the mail, I watched Armor of God 1 and 2. Those movies are freaking fantastic.
Yeah,
They are so cool. And he almost died making the first one.
He almost died of making most of his movies.
Yeah, that was one where he like jumped into a tree and the tree branch broke and he landed on a rock on it with his head
Oh my god.
and he broke his skull open. He actually has a chunk of skull missing from now, and he went into a coma for like a week. And if you watch the scene where it happens, his hair is one length for half of it and then a different length for the other half because they had shaved his head for the surgery.
Yeah.
And he let it grow back to a certain point. He goes, you know what? We have a movie to make. Let's go. And he still wasn't finished healing, and he went and started doing kicks and
He's
jumping through the air and crap.
has to
'cause
hold
this dude's
the-
nuts.
has to hold the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. So he actually he says if you like touch the back of his head, like he keeps his hair that specific length to cover it up.
Yeah.
But like he says, if you touch the back of his head, your hand will go into his head a little bit.
I still got a vent.
Yeah, there's like a giant dent there because they
He's
put
always
like
in
a
such a
plate.
good
They
mood.
put like a plate in, but it wasn't metal. It was like plastic, and it's like caved in a little bit.
You
Is he like
press on it,
the-
it's like I forgot how to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he like the six?
Flick him and he pisses his pants.
Is he like the $6 million man toy where you can like look behind and you can see what he sees?
But yeah, those are awesome. I need to watch all the old ones to see like where he started when he was like really young.
Yeah, that's cool.
I also for like some of the 4Ks that I picked up. This is all the stuff I've already showed off in some of my my last pickup video, so I didn't want to show off any new stuff. But I picked up the Weird Al Yankovic movie on 4K.
Yeah.
Weird,
You haven't watched it yet.
I
Damn.
still haven't watched it, but I got this from an Australian company. That's
Oh,
the only
good.
place this is going to be available on physical media is like from some other company or from other country.
I wonder when Prey is going to come out. I've been waiting for that.
Yeah, I know. Seriously, that and Hellraiser.
Right.
So had to pick this up so I can watch it because I don't have the Roku channel. So I wanted to see that. I'm curious to see Daniel Radcliffe playing somebody who's not Harry
Isn't
Potter.
the Roku channel free?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to have a Roku device.
I don't have a Roku device.
I will mail you one too.
No, I'm good. I also picked up Shazam: Fury of the Gods
Shazam!
because I'm a completionist and I want all the superhero stuff.
Hey, that's why we're friends.
I know. But the thing is like I used to see every single Marvel and DC movie in the theater. Now it's 2 DC movies in a row that I did not see in the theater. I didn't see Black Adam or this. So
I actually like Black Adam. It's kind of shitty when you hear all the politics stuff about how like The Rock was being a dick. about
he was
it.
being a dick.
Yeah. Basically, like told Zachary Levi, like he basically kiboshed Zachary Levi making a cameo in it because he was trying to set up him fighting Superman.
The same thing that you were talking about with like Venom not making sense, not having been attached to Spider-Man before, becoming his own entity.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with that. Is like Black Adam is his villain.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to have him be a part of his story, which is stupid.
Yeah, that'd be like at the end of Venom, he sees Thor and he's like, "Fuck that guy."
Yeah, but it's like in this, it's like at the end of Black Adam, instead of it being Shazam that shows up to whoop his ass, it's Superman.
Yeah,
where it should have been him, but the Brock put the kibosh on. He goes, "I don't want it to be Zachary Levi. I want it to be Superman."
Yeah, so that's
because Superman should be my villain now.
Well, Superman does fight him, but it's like one of those like he's all.
But what The Rock doesn't seem to get.
You're literally like the mirror version of Shazam.
Yeah, but like what The Rock doesn't seem to understand is that Black Adam wouldn't exist without this character.
Yeah. Yep.
But this one is not that good compared to the first one.
Nah, I didn't like the first one the first time I seen it. Like it took a couple times. Like my kids really liked it, so I ended up buying it and watching it. And then I got into it probably around like the third time we watched it. I liked it a bit more every time I watched it, and then this one had like some of it. Like I liked it more at the beginning, but
it goes crazy at the end.
It gets kind of tropey towards the end, I think. And
my thing was the kid that is Shazam ends up acting more childish than he did in the first movie, even though he's like 3 years older in this one.
Yeah, he's like clingier.
Yeah, for some reason he's acting younger than he did in the first one.
He didn't have abandonment issues in the first one. This one seems like he's like, everyone leaves almost.
Yeah.
You're like, what are you doing, dude?
And he whines all the time. That's all he does is whine.
Yeah. So
also picked up People Under the Stairs on 4K.
you almost had to pick it up again.
I almost did. Yeah. Luckily, I got gigantic man boobs that stopped its fall.
Jaws caught it.
Yeah. One of my favorite, like, I wouldn't even really call it a horror movie. It's kind of like a black comedy.
I don't even know what to classify that. That's like
it's half comedy and half like thriller.
People put it on under horror movies just because there's a big skull on the cover.
Because it's got Wes Craven before it. That's why.
It's not scary.
But I ended up spending more time laughing watching this than anything else. It's not. I wouldn't really call it horror. I mean, there's some cannibalism going on in it, but
I saw that when I was a kid, and I didn't remember what it was called. Mm-hmm. And it took, like, when I got together with my wife, she was talking about this movie, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then we watched it, and I was like, I've totally seen this.
Yeah. Well, I saw this in the theater. I kept on dragging my little brother to go and see horror movies with me to see if he would try to, like, leave. Which he definitely did during Candyman. Like that scene where...
You just wanted to yell, pussy, as he ran away.
when Virginia Madsen's in her... she's in the straitjacket, and she's being interviewed by the psychiatrist. And she says Candyman 5 times in the mirror because he wants to see if it's real. And like, there's that wait to see if he pops up. And then all of a sudden the guy just starts spitting up blood. During that wait moment, my brother goes, "We have to go." And I was like, and I go, "Fuck you. I paid for you and me to see this movie. I'm watching it."
Could be like the check out the Thriller video.
I probably scarred him. But we went and saw this, and this was not one where he wanted to leave. This one, he was just kind of like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah, it's a good movie. I haven't watched it in a long time.
And then the last movie is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I had to buy this on general principle.
Yeah, we watched it as a family. And then we all loved it.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater opening. No, it was the week after because the Midwest Gaming Classic happened the week that it came out. And some dude that was sitting a couple of seats down was snoring like a chainsaw the whole time. And we're talking like loud, like it echoed through the place. Everyone heard it.
Like it's the fat dragon.
Yeah. No, yeah, basically the seal. You mean the seal that breathes fire? But yeah, I didn't realize how much he was distracting me because when the movie was over, I was like, yeah, it was all right. But then I watched it when it popped up on Paramount Plus. Mm-hmm. And now that it had my full attention, I was just like, what the hell was I thinking? This is awesome. I've now watched it. I haven't even opened this yet, but I've watched it 3 times on frickin' Paramount Plus. I watched it at work. I showed it to my mom.
Speaking of Paramount Plus,
and now she's like, "Is Chris Pine in any movies coming up?" I'm like, "Nope,
nope. Don't ruin Star Trek for me."
Nope.
Oh man,
because she's like, "I really like Chris Pine in this movie." I was like, "You got any other movies coming up?" I'm like, I'm not telling you shit. Discover the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it was. Yeah, speaking of Paramount Plus, so it sounds like they must be going down a lot. They like canceled a bunch of their big series.
Yeah, they're
shopping a bunch of them.
They lost $500 million this year so far.
Yeah, they're shopping a bunch of their series around to the other things apparently. So that sucks. Yeah,
they tried to jump into streaming too quick to compete with Netflix and Disney Plus, and from what I remember reading, they like marketed like so far this year they've lost like $500 million. Eesh. And they're trying to keep up with everybody else making constant programming, and it's not paying off.
The
only thing that seems to be making money for them is Star Trek.
I mean,
as it should.
Yeah,
Trekkies are insane. They go for everything.
Yeah. And then didn't help that Picard season 3 was fucking awesome.
It was. So I'm still trying to get my wife to. We started watching season 1 when it came out. She takes forever to watch stuff with me, and I gave up and just said to hell with it. I'll watch it myself, and I just watched it while I was out working in the garage and loved it. And then took forever to watch. Like 3 was done, and I started watching 2. I think I started watching 2, I think, when the last episode of 3 came out. And you're like, you don't need to do that. And I'm like, still gonna. Even though it sucks. Even though I'm expecting it to suck now because you told me. But I'm still gonna. It feels too weird. But when I watch it with my wife, I'm gonna be like, we really actually don't need to watch season 2.
Yeah.
Like, nothing happens.
The only thing that carries over is the Romulan girlfriend.
Yeah, they highlight the a really annoying character. She's like one of the main characters in the second season, and yeah,
That's it.
but season 3
Is where it's at.
all killer.
Oh.
It was worth season 2.
I was staying up past 1 a.m. just so I could watch the next episode. That's how much I was into it.
That's like me watching Mandalorian, just making sure so no one ruins it when I wake up and someone watched it at 3 a.m. And
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm a lot of the time I work nights anyway, so I can be like, well, 3 o'clock, all right, it's on, and then watch. But if I'm up late anyway, I'm a night owl if I can help it. If I don't work days, which unfortunately I do tomorrow.
When it comes to DOS video games, I have a bunch of licensed Master System games that I picked up from overseas.
Ooh,
I got the Batman Returns, Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Woo.
Back to the Future 3 is basically just a port of the Genesis game, so that automatically means it's kind of poopy. But Back to the Future 2 is all new. It's nothing like the Nintendo game. It's like a platformer, I guess.
Cool.
But it's the only place it came out was on the Master System. And then Batman Returns is not a port of the Genesis game either. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
And when I saw a review of it online, I was like, oh, so I've been under the false assumption that it's a port of that shitty Genesis game. Nope, it's its own thing, and it looks pretty awesome. And that means that the Game Gear game is a port of this.
I've wanted that for a while. When I was thinking of going for a full Master System collection instead of selling every Master System game I have.
Oh.
Which is still that's what I'm doing.
But when it comes to newer stuff, did a bunch of stuff off of Play Asia. Picked up the 2 new Fatal Frame games.
Sweet.
So that's Maiden of Blackwater and Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
Still want those. I just sold my sealed copy of 1 the other day. It did good for me. I didn't pay very much for it. But I had an unsealed copy. That's what I beat last year. So
picked up this one called Game Deck Definitive Edition. That is like a cyberpunk
I've heard good
type
stuff
of.
about that.
To me, it looks like a dungeon crawler.
I think it's a detective style game.
Yeah.
So kind of a shadow runny.
I had to open it. The reason I haven't played it yet, it's open because the disc was loose.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But the thing that makes me laugh is you see how the game is spelled on the cover.
Yeah.
It's Game Deck.
Yeah. Gamna deck.
Yeah.
That's a character. It sounds more like a character in a D&D game. I am Gamna deck.
Also picked up this limited edition of Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, but it's not really based on. It's like the story of the movie, but done modern. So there's like cell phones and stuff, and it's like this guy trying to figure out if his family's actually dead. So it's like a murder mystery, point and click, third person adventure game type of thing.
And
I don't play many games like that, so that sounded interesting. Of all the ones to make a game based off of Vertigo,
could have been
also,
Birds.
Yeah. Also got a thing for the soundtrack.
Kind of sounds like Life is Strange almost.
Yeah, it's weird, but I was interested. Me and my license games, I have to have them. I thought this was really interesting for a license game. Like you would have thought, like Psycho or something would have been the more popular one. And then this horror game called Oxide Room 104. And Shondo from the Baddest Dudes saw my post of it. And he's just like, "Let me know because I want to stream it." It's all he streams his horror games, and it looks to me like Outlast, sort of. So, sure. And then, of course, you know that I picked up Jedi Survivor.
What? How dare you?
How dare me?
So you're gonna start collecting Star Wars games now? Or?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go for a whole set maybe. I already got like 80% of them.
Excellent.
Now I just got to buy those really expensive Atari ones.
Yeah.
What?
You didn't know? There's a couple of Atari. There's the arcade game port that's really expensive, but the one that is super expensive is what's it called? Return of the Jedi Ewok Attack or something. That is like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's all about like the end of Return of the Jedi with the Ewok stuff.
What did you just see it at the thrift store today and pass on it? He looks defeated by it.
I donated that to my church when I was a kid.
That game is worth a mint now.
You just had to add
Whoops!
for a second time.
Oh.
Damn.
Yep.
So did your church get like a whole like second level build?
Yeah. Did they get a new station wagon?
They just sold it out.
No, like I mean, like when I say I donated it when I was a kid, I mean like I was like, I want to say I was like 10 years old or something like that, and I was done with the Atari 2600. And I gave them my Atari 2600 and all of the games with it and stuff. Because, like, I mean,
go and see if they still have it.
Yeah, right.
In the garage sale.
I wish. I mean, like, I stopped giving away my games or selling them and stuff like that, and essentially started collecting like in 1996. But I still don't have as many games as like either of you. Like I'm still like under 2,200 games.
Shit, I don't want to tell you how much I have.
Is it a shameful amount?
Well, about a month ago, I was at about 5,200 games, and I've sold about 600 games in the last month. So everyone's like, "Are you okay, man?" Because everyone knows how much I like games around here.
So that's what he said when I told him I bought a bunch of games off of you.
I was out so I'm one of those people that's genuinely concerned for other people's well-being and stuff. And even though like we had never met or talked before then, like Chris is showing me all this cool stuff that he's getting. I'm like, wow, those are some real bangers there. Like, is he okay? Like, is there a medical bill that's come up or something?
Does he hate RPGs?
I mean, no, it was just like, oh my God. I was genuinely.
I just said, I'm like, he needs some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, there's a few things came up. My wife was unable to work for a couple months. A bunch of stuff moved around. Stuff just started piling up. So I was like, you know what? I'd be a dick to not just help my family out here. I live here too. So I mean, and then I basically figured I'll let Chris pick through everything I had.
Mm-hmm.
But I
and trust me, what I wanted originally was way more than what I bought.
When I came to like selling on eBay, like the high stuff, I went on my app because I got my whole collection in the app.
Which app?
It's Game Eye.
Yes.
And
it's my favorite.
And it gives you the values and all that other stuff. And you can order from in value highest to lowest. So I just did that. And I was like, what's the top 30 games? And then I was like, holy shit. And I just took them all. And I was like, hey, these are going on eBay. And I think it went down to like, worth the time because I have to cross the border because I'm shipping in the States because shipping in Canada is ridiculous. I live right on the border of Minnesota. So I'm like, I don't even have an option to ship to Canada. I've had a couple people like, oh, you forgot to put a Canadian thing. I'm like, I didn't forget nothing. I will ship to you if you're interested, but I'm like, it's going to be more than the flat rate that it is to ship in the States. Wow. And then, because it's ridiculous. I can ship to somewhere 2 hours away and it'll be like $50. I'm like, it'd be cheaper to drive it there.
Oh.
Yeah, wow. It's really dumb. I bought stuff for friends that live like out of town, and I'm like, I remember when Amiibos were like first starting out and good, and like our Walmart got a lot of them. So I picked up a bunch and sent them to my buddy. He's like, if I'd known the how much the shipping was going to be, I would have just said give it to my mom because my friend was like going to school or something down a couple hours away, and he's like, I would have just said drop them at my parents' house. I didn't know it was going to be like that price of them again to send them to me. He's like, I was doing that to avoid scalper prices, and then I just basically paid scalper prices. Not because of you. He's like, thanks for getting them for me. At least I got them. But he's like, that shipping was ridiculous. And I was like, I didn't ship it like first class.
Any
next
special,
day. Yeah, it was like, what's the cheapest? I'll send it to him.
Yeah, what's media mail?
Yeah, it was.
You can't do that with video games anymore.
I still do.
It was nuts.
You're risking because like the U.S. mail system does not consider video games media anymore, and if they suspect that it is video games, they'll pop the box open, return it to you, and not refund your money.
Oh, I haven't seen any. I haven't gotten any of that yet. Usually, like they ask me, "What is in here?" and I'll say a DVD.
Oh,
yeah.
I just use the eBay labels.
But anyway, you're asking.
Screen small.
4,425. Yoy.
Ah.
What's mine say? I think I went.
I'm going to Moandain Con next month. So
I have a full working designs collection.
well,
I think I took. I think I took most of the stuff I've sold out, and mine says 44.39 still. But so people were like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" When at the garage sale, or I'd see them out and about, and
I got bills.
They saw my post about garage sale. They're like, "You all right, man?" I was like, "It's okay. Even if I sell all this stuff, I still have like 3,500 games." When I was like at the garage sale, they're like, "Okay." I was worried about you. I was like, "I won't have nothing to play. I'm good." I was like, I'm keeping everything basically above PS1. And everyone's like, where's the N64 stuff? Like, I got more questions about N64 than anything else. I was like,
of course.
N64 is still kind of dodgy to emulate, so I'm keeping most of that. So, hit and miss. Some of them are easy, some of them aren't. But I was like, yeah, I've got like the loaded up Super Nintendo Mini, Genesis Mini, and NES. So I'm like, those are easy collections to get rid of. And then I was like getting rid of some like the bigger Master System games. And I was like, honestly, Master System can all fuck off.
Yeah, because I was going to take his Golden Axe Warrior.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it didn't have a manual, and that's kind of like a stipulation with me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was doing.
I had a huge list of things I wanted. And I was like, now take out everything that doesn't have a manual. And he's like, fuck. Because one of them I wanted was Space Megaforce.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And you're like, doesn't have a manual. Nope.
I thought I had Space the manual for that too. That's what really was like, what the fuck? But yeah, at least I didn't not tell you.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah.
That was my way of saying like I don't need to spend $3,500 right now.
Yeah. Well, it was like
on games. I was like, what doesn't have a manual? If it doesn't have a manual, take it off the list.
I wiped my Game Eye app and was basically going start from scratch, adding stuff. And I got lazy. I did the modern systems. I did like PS4 and Xbox One and PS5. I was like, yeah, I'll slowly do the other ones, and I just didn't until I was like, I got to sell this stuff. But then I had to go through and be like, what's got manuals? What doesn't? So I had like everything that didn't have a manual, I pulled out a bit. So when I was adding them, I could add them in like a huge row. And then, but yeah, it's been an adventure. Some of the things really hurt to let go. But then when I get the payout, it doesn't hurt as much. Like most of the stuff is like, that's my favorite game. So like a lot of the Super Nintendo, I think I had every Super Nintendo RPG, just about. I think I was maybe missing like 2.
Did you have EVO?
Like Paladin's Quest.
Yeah, I think those are actually. I think those are the 2 I didn't have, was EVO and Paladin's Quest, but I had like everything else. And so far, the biggest sale I made was actually Kirby's Dream Land 3, and I'm like, I actually don't have any tie to that. Like, it sold for more than Space Megaforce.
Wait.
And it wasn't even complete. It was like, I think I got $645 US for just the box cart and the card holder. I was like, y'all are crazy. Because I put some of them up for auction. But most of them I just did buy it now and found like an average price and put it up. And
see, that's what I do. I usually go for like the highest price I see, then I go $10 less.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go for the lowest and be like, all right, but is mine in better condition? And, I kind of just smart about it, and it's done well pretty so far. But yeah. So
what are your pickups, man?
I got a few things. Well, yeah, obviously I got Survivor. How dare I? But yeah, I already spoiled this one. We got Stray. I've been playing that with my daughter. And then this one was super cheap for some reason, and I didn't ask questions, and I just bought it. But now I have all the Xenoblade Chronicles games on the Switch.
Nice.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, and whatever that add-on full game was for 2. I've yet to open one and play it, though.
Yeah, so I haven't played any of them.
I think I paid $25 for this at Walmart, so.
Maybe I should go to my Walmart and see if they got it.
Yeah.
Then again, me and my track record with RPGs.
Yeah, it's true. Like I said, I love them. I put in a good amount of time on pretty much all my RPGs, but that's unfortunately, in the top 30, I'd say like 25 of them were RPGs. So I was like, oh, all my favorite ones, cool. And then, of course, like all my favorite NES games were like the pricier ones too. And
The good ones always are.
Yeah, I've got a couple people trying to get my full Mega Man set for NES off me, and so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, as far as games, that's it. Movies, I just got one movie. I haven't opened it yet, but
I can see what it is from here. Yep.
Mario. I got it because the family loved it. We all watched it. I pirated it, watched it instead of bringing them to the theater because we didn't have a theater at the time. And then, because that's when my local theater closed for like 2 months or whatever, and opened just in time for Guardians 3. So I was stoked on that. But now I wanted to watch it, and everyone's so sick of the Peaches song from it being on everything and being on like every TikTok for a month that my oldest refuses to watch. She's like, I don't want to watch it. She's like, if we watch it, I'm gonna walk away.
Peaches.
I'm like, I don't blame you because just like anything, like too many people jump on it. And
yeah, I usually at work when I'm bored, I'll scroll through like the shorts on YouTube, and like one every 20 shorts has that song playing on it.
Yeah, for a while it was like peaches, 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 peaches,
Yep.
And I'd be like, my God, I get it. Yeah, it's like just like anything.
It's gonna win the Oscar for best song this year.
I mean, I like Jack Black, and I thought it was really kind of cool that he did that in the movie. But like after everyone plays it out, you're like, okay, I'm sick of it. Be like anything. Like I said, I love Zelda enough that I have Link on my arm, and I can't even care about Tears of the Kingdom till probably like next year. I'll probably buy a greatest hits copy of it because it's gonna. I'll be so sick of it. So fucking sick of hearing of it. I'm like, I wanted it. Now I don't care. But that's it for games. Sorry, guys.
Here we go. Prepare yourself.
So we got a new Transformer, and one of the Dinobots kind of shadow released on me. I had to get him. I wasn't planning on buying a brand new Transformer, but it was like $70. When I was trying to be good, but I'm like, also, once those go, I don't see them again at a reasonable price. So I was like, it's a buy it now. FOMO. It's a buy it now. And I've already spoiled that I got Keaton. We got Keaton. It's about the only Batman figure I bought lately. I've been pretty good. But holy shit. The Marvel pre-orders and everything all kind of showed up in the last little while, or I was getting some really good clearance deals when I was out of town last week. I'm going to save my favorite for last, but the second biggest, literally, finally got the Blob. I've wanted the Blob for my Brotherhood set for a long ass time. He ain't happy to be here.
No one moves the Blob.
Did you just call me Blob? Yeah. So stoked on that. You know me, trying to get all the X-Men bad guys, but I didn't stop there. With that, I also got
a nice sculpt.
Yeah, I really like it. They had a Toy Biz Build-A-Figure where like his torso, because it was so big, is two different sections. Like I had his gut and like a leg, but then his gut was one piece, and then his tits and his shoulders were the rest. That's how big of a Build-A-Figure he was. It was hard to look at. I had his gut and his head and I think a leg, just from the figures I wanted from that wave. I wasn't into Build-A-Figures for quite a while. And then I also got Miss Emma Frost. I didn't have an Emma Frost. I have like a Hellfire Club, not a Hellfire Club. She's in a black outfit, but that's quintessential Emma Frost to me, is the white outfit. So I'm pretty stoked to get that. This is video game related, so we can count this as a video game pickup. I finally got the Gamerverse version of Spider-Man from the PS4 or PS5 game. Stoked on that because I got the Miles a while ago. I missed out on him when the first PS4 game came out, so I'm stoked on that. I picked up a 2-pack. Speaking of Secret Wars, this is actually Secret Wars. We got the Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel, which is this is who I thought Captain Marvel was for the longest time. Like when I was reading comics as a kid.
That photon.
And then she becomes Spectral or something like that. Spectrum. And then, of course, in the 2-pack, it comes with Secret Wars Doctor Doom. I'm a sucker for Doctor Doom. This is like my 5th version, but I don't have a capeless version. He comes with you know, the unmasked head as in the end of the thing, and he also comes with a mask, which is cool. So
Hey, there is no Victor, only Doom.
I can do the reenactment of the mask when I put it on there. Make sure you translate when he's trying to get it to work and it doesn't.
The only
work.
Doctor Doom figure I ever had was the Super Friends one from back in the 80s.
Superpowers ones?
Yeah, Superpowers, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. Or was that Secret Wars? I think Secret Wars did the
Really?
series of that. Yeah.
It was Super Friends or Superpowers.
Superpowers was the DC, I think. Superpowers. There was
Superpower, yeah.
I had
See? Too many secrets. Too many secrets.
I had a Doctor Doom figure a long time ago when I was a kid, and he had this lenticular like shield that like would show different images because it was lenticular, and you could pop the shield open and flip the piece of paper to another side, and it showed something else from Doctor Doom. It was really old, like
that sounds really cool,
really old, a long time ago. I wish I still had it, but
that sounds super cool.
My brother found the old Lex Luthor ship from Super Friends or Superpowers or whatever that was. It had like the little that had the kryptonite gem that went in the back.
Yeah,
and like those scoops underneath.
Sweet. Yeah, they're re-releasing a lot of that stuff. They're doing like McFarlane Toys is doing like they got the Superman playing with the fists on it because Superman can't punch on his own, and the Bat Jet and all that stuff. Next, I got keeping with the X-Men, I got the 5-pack for one figure, but the other figures are with it. We got Pretty Boy, kind of looks like Silvermane. We got Zero. He comes with a Doctor Doom-esque portal. Apparently, I have my throat dried out. We got Vertigo. We got Random. I actually really think this is like probably one of the best detailing in this 5-pack. It's Random from I think he was on X-Force. The reason I bought it though is because I wanted this figure since I was a kid, and we got Strife.
Oh man,
I wanted Strife so bad.
That's a lot of ankles.
Yeah, look at that! Look at that helmet. I remember when they announced the figure, the guy had a helmet that he had, I don't know, used Hasbro money to make and not release because he's a dickhead. But yeah,
how else is he supposed to cover it up without that helmet?
I basically paid 5 figures worth for that guy. The other characters are pretty cool. Like I'll use them and whatever. They'll go on the display, but it was all for Strife. I got another major Marvel character that I didn't have yet. I got Black Bolt. I got him cheap. When I started eBaying,
Why isn't there one where half of his head is caved in?
What mouth? Keeping with characters you might know, but maybe
Yondu.
not what they look like. We got Yondu, the comic version of Yondu. I got the comic version of who did I have last time? Star-Lord I had. And then pretty cool pickup when I was out of town last week. The newest Avengers wave was on clearance there. So less than half price, but I picked up Yelena Belova, Black Widow's sister. We got Molecule Man, really old school Fantastic Four villain. And then what else? Oh, this is totally stupid. I wouldn't have bought him if he wasn't on clearance and I needed his Build-A-Figure piece, but I got the Orb. Basically, Evil Knievel wearing an eyeball head. As 100% what this guy is. He's a old school.
That is the dumbest shit.
He's an old school Ghost Rider villain. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have any Ghost Rider villains, so he's welcome, I guess. I don't have Blackheart or nothing. I don't know why they haven't. There was like an anniversary.
Isn't he like the big one?
Yeah. Why isn't he? He was the one in the Ghost Rider movie.
Well, we'll make the guy with the eyeball for a head.
Yeah, well, everyone's been clamoring for that Orb figure.
Yeah.
I mean, the eye looks cool. I don't know, man. But because those were on clearance, they had on the same peg the newest X-Men wave, which is what Emma Frost was on. But the rest of the figures I was really lukewarm on, but I really wanted to build a figure. So less than half price, I got a bunch. This guy, we got Chamber, These are more like Generation X, like newer X-Men comics. We got Feral, not Will. It's basically Teen Wolf.
Why does he look like he's wearing a clown
Teen
outfit?
Wolf, and we got Monet St. Croix. She was like a Generation X character. Cool figure. Not as cool as her alter ego in the comics, but whatever. But I got those for cheap enough that I only need one piece to complete this guy now, and it's Chad from the Starjammers, Sans one arm. The only one I need now is I got this other guy. He's crushed by Chad. It's Kid Omega.
Fucking Chad.
You know what? He can stay there. I'm not even going to show him because he's being an asshole. He's tangled in wires and shit. But yeah, I really wanted to build this guy. I really like the detail on him. I think it's, I don't know. I think it's probably an Abomination body, but
Yeah.
I don't care. He looks awesome.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was when you first picked him up, was Abomination.
Yeah, I need Corsair from the Starjammers. You know, Cyclops, Havoc, and Vulcan's dad. So I'll need that to complete that. But I also completed with the Avengers wave. I needed Orb and Molecule Man to complete this, and I was like, I don't have any tie to this character, but I can't have a 3/4 completed build a figure. So we got Puff Adder. You've probably never heard of him. Guess what? I love comics, and I barely have either. And I didn't want most of the wave that this guy came with, but I had a couple of the parts, and I thought he was a cool looking figure. He's kind of a minor Iron Man villain, early Iron Man. I actually have his first appearances, but the controller. I'm kind of a sucker for the old school cosmic type villains.
Why does he look like he's wearing Thanos' outfit?
He looks like Dark. Yeah, he looks like Darkseid, kind of in the face.
With Thanos'
looks like
body.
Thanos' body. But I'm a sucker for that guy. So I bought his pieces on eBay were dirt cheap. So I bought I think I needed the torso and head, and one of his legs or something, and it cost me like $8 altogether. So I was down with that. And then a character that I have many different versions, but he came with new effects. Yes, I bought him because he came with cool effects. It'd be cool if it'd stay on, but I got this cool. I like the paint job on this War Machine, but he's got this cool like burst effect, and he's got this like fist explosion thing I'm going to use for other characters. But I was a sucker for this. He was on really cheap at Toys R Us, which is a weird thing to say these days because Toys R Us has just been making up their own prices, and they're usually $15 more than anywhere is asking for stuff. So it was pretty cool to see that guy for like $20. Stoked. That's it, except my favorite pickup. This is a literal grail. I've wanted this since I was a little kid. This is a newer version, but not the newest version. But I got the Days of Future Past Sentinel. I've wanted a Sentinel since I was a kid. I want.
Is it a button in his stomach?
You bet it is. So yeah, I'm super stoked. I found him for an actually decent price, which is very rare to find. I need 3 more. They made a. I need more. He's a gateway drug to more Sentinels. It's not Night of the Sentinels.
Oh no, it's like that. It's like the card in Marvel Snap.
Yeah, it's the
Pull them and you get another one.
Exactly. So, and they did the HasLab Sentinel, which is basically Hasbro's Kickstarter, and I think that Sentinel is about this tall. They also did a Galactus, and in my Minnesota group, there's a guy really tempting me to buy it because the Kickstarter, I think it was $300 or $350, and this guy's selling it for $400, but anywhere else online is selling it for like $900. And I'm like, I don't have the money right now, but do you
trade you?
Do you take games? Yeah, do you take games and trade? And,
Are they going to do a Nimrod?
Nimrod? I actually have Nimrod.
Okay.
He was in a 3-pack with Psylocke and Phantom X. I got him for a really good price, though. I think during the pandemic. That's when I really started going hard on the action figures. And this one cost me 0 money. But we got the Predator 2. I think it's Warrior Predator. My bro gave me this, so stoked. We're both over at my parents' house, and I was actually at a convention with him. I think it was the one where we met Adam West, and he bought that. I think it cost him like $60 at the time. That's a laughable amount for that right now. He was really into Predator a lot when he was younger, and he's like, I just got nowhere to put my collectibles, man. He's like, you might as well have them so that I can look at them at your house. I was like, I'll take that. I'll take that action, especially since I got the Giant Dutch. I think on one of our first episodes of this podcast. He was on my podcast. It was like it was my anniversary gift for my wife. She knows how much I love Arnold, so that's cool.
Hey, stick around.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, I've also got the T2 Terminator to go with him. So I don't know. I wish he could fit on the shelf with those other guys. I'll probably restructure my shelf to make them all fit together. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. He says, hey, clean that room out and find the other Predators in there. And he's like, they're yours too. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to go bulldoze the rest of that room and try and find stuff. Because it's actually my childhood room, but it's become like a storage room for stuff. So him and I and my mom have all been like, we got to clean that room out, because then if my mom has to watch the kids, there's an extra bedroom, not just a pile of stuff. It's accumulated 2 childhoods worth of stuff, and then just other get it out of the way. We've got guests coming boxes and stuff. So we got a bunch of stuff to go through in there, but I'm stoked to go through because I really want to find the sign for my Ghostbusters firehouse. That's my goal, because I got every other piece to it, but the sign is the only thing missing. So here's hoping. All right, sorry, I said sorry before, but I'll follow that up with a sorry, because it's been so long you probably forgot. That's all my pickups. Hopefully it'll be later next time. Likely not. I'll be like, 3 more Sentinels. I'll just start off the podcast with that next episode.
And Sentinels, no more Sentinels, no Sentinels, no more Sentinels.
I can juggle them. No, I can't. They're all broken. I need more. These are battle damaged ones.
Like Wolverine got a hold of them.
Yeah, that's what's cool about the HasLab one. It comes with different heads, and one of them's master mold. So I was like, I need to have one to make master mold, and then the other ones can be like guarding him. I don't know. I got a diorama ideas up the ass for that shit. But I'm happy to have one. It's been $1. I don't know where he put him.
He's a placeholder.
Yeah, it was definitely like a childhood grail. I always wanted one. Even the one back in the day, he was like probably this big, and I never saw one in the store. Now I find one now, and they're expensive. So I'm like, yeah, I'd rather get a closer to what I actually envision a Sentinel as for a figure. But shutting up about toys, let's talk about our backlog roulette.
Ooh.
So for those of you who might not know, backlog roulette is you make a list of games from 1 to 36, 0 and 00, and we roll the wheel, and whatever number comes up, that's the game you play. Let us know what you guys get in your picks, and let us know what you think of the game you got. This is basically just a way of enabling everyone to actually dig into their backlog instead of just going, I don't know why I got that game. I intended to play it. I just haven't. It's what we've been doing for years. We're going to keep it going.
What'd you get last time?
Last time I got Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. I'm sort of mad at myself. I've had this game for a long time, and I never played it until I got in the backlog roulette. It's actually so awesome. Like, it holds up. It doesn't feel like, obviously,
I just talked about that in my Xbox stream on Thursday.
Like, graphically, it's a little bit underwhelming now, but obviously you're going to expect that. But everywhere else, like, the mechanics don't feel like super old. Like, I love the fighting. I love the puzzles. It was an awesome experience. Like, I mean, it was a LucasArts game, so they had a pretty good track record back in the day, and this is no different. If you haven't played this, you find it cheap, you find it expensive, treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
I loved it. So yeah, I'm really happy I played it. I beat it. It was actually right before the Purge, so I didn't get sold in the Purge because I like it. But yeah, what did you get last time?
I got Skeleton Warriors on the PS1.
Skeleton Warriors. I don't know. It feels like how you should say it.
I think it's based on a cartoon and like a toy line or something, but I never knew about it. It must have been in the mid 90s that it happened.
I remember it being a thing. I just don't remember what thing that was. Maybe
I think I saw a thing, but I know what thing I thought I saw.
Maybe it was just an action figure. I'm sure there was an animated series if there was toys of it.
There was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember
didn't miss much.
Yeah, it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but the graphics are all like Donkey Kong Country, like Silicon graphics type of thing. And it's okay. It's really stiff. But the thing that I kind of liked about it is, as you're going through beating up the bad guys, they drop icons. Some of them add onto your health, and some of them give you ammo for like your projectile weapon. Because normally you're just hitting people with a sword. But the thing is, since the bad guys are all skeleton characters, they break apart when you hit them.
Hell yeah, they do.
You have like a specific amount of time to pick up that icon, otherwise they form themselves back together.
Dry bone
So
style.
yeah, so if you pick up the item, they explode. Like their pieces explode. If you let it sit there for a little while, you'll see all their parts start to like form back together, and they'll come back, and you got to hit them again to break them apart.
To hell with you.
Yeah, and that was kind of a cool mechanic. But like I said, it's really stiff. Sometimes it's hard to see the enemies because they blend into the backgrounds because everything is almost the same color.
Yeah.
There's some into the screen flying sections that are like a bonus area or whatever.
Okay.
But outside of that, I mean, it's just very simple and generic.
Did you beat it?
No, I did not.
Did you enjoy it though?
I mean, it's okay for what it is.
Oh, you didn't hate it at least.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I did not.
We're building off we're just building off that we're trying to get you not hate the games that you own.
Yeah.
For a while there, you were on a streak of like hated
every single one. It was like, this was shit.
I don't know why I sold it. Yeah, we're like, come on, man. I'm like, I don't want this podcast to turn out to you're like, I don't think I like video games.
The biggest one was Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that first one is a slog.
Yeah,
I don't know how the second one got made. I'm glad it did because
I even say that I was like, how did a franchise come out of this game?
Yeah, because like I said, like the first area, you're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah,
and then you just redo the same thing like 6 different times. You're like,
and then you have to go back to those cities again and do it again.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
So it's like there's 5. I think there was like 5 cities. You do all those tasks, the same tasks in every city. And then you have to go back and do them all again.
It's basically like if you went to see a stand-up comedian and he told a joke to start off that just killed, and everyone in the room was just howling at it. And then he's like, hell yeah. And then he just kept telling the same joke. You're like, oh, no, dude. No. We heard it the first time. And then
37 times.
What's this guy doing? Then by the end, you're like, I hated that.
Yeah. It got fun toward the end again because it changed up the way everything worked.
And you do like the stuff where it goes to the future and stuff. You're like,
where it turns just into like a beat 'em up where you're like running around just beating the shit out of those guys on that path.
Yeah, the very end of it was it was pretty decent. But I mean, like I know like I had no idea about the stuff that takes place in the present.
Oh,
so I found that kind of interesting. And
yeah, that stuff was okay because it was like unraveling the mystery of what's going on.
What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people are tired of it by now because I'm sure they're still doing that kind of shit. I don't know.
I disliked it so much that even though everybody tells me that part 2 is definitely like 30 times better, I still haven't been able to bring myself to play it.
You don't even play yeah.
I haven't played any of them except the first one right now. But I own them all.
So do I.
Because
I even own the DS. I own the DS, the PSP one. I own the side-scrolling one. I got like both those on a disc. Yeah.
We got problems.
I think I even had I think the only one I might be missing is the Vita one, but I think the Vita one is on that the 2 I have on the disc. So I think
I have like that one that has like that trilogy of the little side story ones. Like there's the Asian themed one.
Yeah, that's what
there's like the 3 different ones.
Yeah,
they were like DLC, like downloadable little mini game thingies.
And I beat the PSP one, and I beat 1, 2. I think Brotherhood I beat, and I was like, because 3 was coming out, and I was like, how about I beat the other 4 games I have before I pre-ordered this one because it looks so cool. I was like, what if I hate these games? And then I played 1. I was like, oh my god, I'll start 2, and if 2 sucks, like I'm just gonna sell these. Fuck 3. And then I played through 1, 2, and I don't even know if I didn't finish Brotherhood, I played through like 3/4 of it, and I got so burnt out on Assassin's Creed from doing all that I just didn't go back. I played when I got a Xbox One. I plopped in Black Flag because I heard real good stuff about it.
I heard Black Flag is good.
I played like an hour and a half of it, thought it was good, but then maybe I didn't even have my own Xbox yet. I think I might have borrowed my brother's while he was like out of town for a week just to check it out. And that was it. Yeah, that's all I played of Black Flag. And then I have every other one and just...
You do realize that it's been 2 years since I played that game and we're still talking about it?
Yeah. Hey, man, we were doing a service like, hey, it's basically the Picard Season 2 of the Assassin's Creed series. You just don't even need to play it. Just start on the second one.
Yeah, just start on Season 1. Just start on Season 3. You're good.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But so I'm glad you liked it. So we're gonna spin that wheel and see if we get something you can enjoy even more, or at least it's okay. We're just avoiding hate. We don't want you. We don't want you hating games. All right. So I'll get this ready.
Goro agrees.
Yeah. All right. As long as it comes up video games. I think under 00 I have Go to Work. I'm just kidding. And we got 29.
Oh,
Is that good?
I'm gonna have to count.
Okay.
What'd you guys get?
I got Killer is Dead on the PS3.
I
I think it's a Suda 51 game.
Yeah, I think I have that too.
Yeah, it's right ahead, right above me.
I think I have it on
Well,
Xbox.
bam.
I think I have mine on 360.
Yeah, I got that big limited edition one.
The big old
Yeah,
boy.
I paid like $5 for.
Yeah, I didn't pay too much for it either. All right, what did you get, Moandain?
Ogre Battle 64.
Hell yeah!
You're in for a time, sir.
Hey, it's one of the only RPGs on the system, so enjoy.
One of the few.
Yeah, that's sweet. Well, that's another game I've been playing lately. I've been playing Ogre Battle. Oh,
Ogre Tactics.
Ogre Tactics Reborn on the PS5. I like or hate it. I don't know. Sometimes I don't like it, but sometimes I really like it. So I'm still on the fence about it. The amount of I run into these difficulty spikes where like, what can I even do to make this guy more powerful? Like I don't think I can do battles again. I think you can train, but it's basically I'm like, oh, I guess I should have trained. But then I'm stuck in a spot where it's like a multi-tier battle. Like you're in an area, and you beat like a courtyard battle, then you got to beat like a battle inside. And I'm just locked in this place now. And I'm like, well, I can't get any stronger to fight this guy. And every time he hits me, he takes half my life. And I fight him one-on-one. Ass. And I'm trying every trick in the book I can figure out before I fight him again. And I'm like,
Game Shark.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to get Game Shark to work with my PS5. Yeah. So yeah, that sucks. I got Pirates of Darkwater on PS2. PS2. Why am I saying PS2? Super Nintendo.
Yay.
So I think I still have it. Oh
wow.
If I don't, it's on my Super Nintendo Classic. So we're good. And if not that, I'll just play the Sega version. I know I still have that. I saw it today. But I'm pretty sure I've got both versions. Because
there's another cartoon that kind of old for. I was too old for.
Yeah, I remember it briefly. I watched a couple episodes. It was all right. But I think it was out the same time as like the Conan cartoon was out. So Conan was cool.
Cutthroat Island.
Yeah,
I remember like Conan being on. I think like right after it or right before it. So I was like, I'll watch. I'll keep watching. Beats Power Rangers. So,
Voltron beats
Go Pirates of Darkwater.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty. I'm looking forward to playing that because I remember it looked really good, and both versions were different. I think that's why I own both. I think one's a beat 'em up.
Both versions of Cutthroat Island.
I think one's a beat 'em up. I think one's a beat 'em up, and one's like a side-scrolling action, kind of like Aladdin type thing. If I remember correctly, it's been a long time.
Well, I've been looking forward for excuse to play Killer's Dead because I hear a lot of good things about it.
You've got the excuse. You've been enabled. You
Yes.
may play it. I don't know who's telling you can't, but I'm telling you can.
Oh,
And you better.
do it.
Yeah. Playing that game yet? You're gonna be like that with Mark.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, I'll be that guy. the game bully. Play that shit. No, I've already been doing that for a while. Me and Josh have been like, play Mass Effect yet? every time we're all in a chat together, we're like, oh yeah, we should probably try Mass Effect.
I still have not played Mass Effect.
What?
Yeah.
No. I have the trilogy thing that came out for the
One day you want to join our gang?
One. I started it. I played it for about 20 minutes, and I haven't played it since.
So, not only have I played the trilogy, I played the games originally as well. Not only have I played the trilogy, I played Andromeda.
Church actually loves Andromeda.
Church champions that game. He's like, it's not as bad as everyone says it is.
He's like, that and Dragon's Age Inquisition are not as bad as everyone says it is.
My main problem was
it is Fortnite.
My impression of Dragon Age Inquisition was that I bought it on the 360 because I didn't have a Xbox One or PS4 yet, and like right away it was the jankiest game I've ever played. There was a part where you're running across the bridge at the beginning. There's nothing on the bridge. Then all of a sudden my guy's just running in place, and then a stand and some barrels like materialize, and I'm like, oh fuck. So then I keep trying to run. It's like the draw distance was like worse than Spider-Man on the PS1. They just didn't create the ground, so there's gas down there. But it's just like, yeah, there's like a 5-foot draw distance because I was like, what the fuck is this? Like I played 1 and 2 on 360 with zero problems extensively, and then that one I think I made it half an hour. I was like, I actually can't play this. And it was before I ordered anything. I wasn't really ordering anything on eBay or Amazon. And I worked at Walmart, and I contacted another Walmart and got them to send me their copy so I could buy it. I went so far out of my way, then I played it for half an hour and was like, well, that was a mistake. That was the biggest letdown. And now I think I own it on PS4 and Xbox One from just getting random cheap bundles. And I've yet to try it again, but don't tell church. As I intended to try it again, and then I kept on living my life. And
what were you saying was like Fortnite?
Oh, Mass Effect Andromeda is a lot. It's Mass Effect Fortnite, basically. Like you run around, you build up. I mean, they tried really hard to turn it into a 4X, and it's just not.
Yeah.
But we don't have to worry about Church. He's off in Diablo 4, never to be seen again.
Yeah. Someone's gonna light the beacons and tell them the beacons are lit. Someone's ripping on Andromeda.
All of a sudden, it like pops up. You guys talking shit?
Yeah, it just pops in the stream. Somehow gets a.
He always pops up into my streams when I mention his name. He's like, yeah, my ears started getting hot.
You say it 3
so
times.
I decided to show up. Yeah.
He's Candyman. He's the Candyman, and he showed up. Whoa! Started getting a nosebleed.
I'm gonna get a lecture right before the next Tides of Flame stream.
So Church, tell me, is Mass Effect Andromeda like playing Fortnite? What?
His character is gonna go chaotic evil pretty quick.
Yep.
Oh.
His entire world is gonna be must kill Marcus.
That's okay.
Is he made of eldritch energy?
That's okay. I'll just put him into the interdict. No healing for you.
Uh-oh.
Shit. Well, this has been an awesome time. It's been a lengthy time, so hopefully everyone stuck around with us and then enjoyed all the catching up we do, because it seems like we just do these when we need to catch up. But we're going to try and, as always, we're going to try to be more consistent. But, it's the summer. Everyone's busy. I get it. But if you stuck around this long, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining us, Moandain. It was awesome. We'll have to get you back again. That was a lot of fun. And everyone else, see you on the next one.
Woo!
Bye.
That's Flame!
Hasta la vista, baby.
Goodbye. I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.